Welcome to Game Crunch, your weekly video game podcast. My name is Mike Anastasia. With me today we have Nick.
Hello.
Brandon.
Hey.
We're here to talk about games and things.
Talk about and things.
Yeah.
Lots of things, lots of games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What was this week? Video Game Awards.
Yep.
We got a bunch to talk about from
A little bit from that.
I don't think there's any new releases this week, right? We're just talking about
there is. It's literally in my list, but that's okay.
Well, I don't know what those things are, so I don't know if they're new or not.
There are two new releases today.
Brandon. Okay.
Today's release was High on Life and Final Fantasy remake of Crisis Core, which I haven't played Crisis Core yet. I'm playing that later tonight. But I played some High on Life.
Yeah. I remembered to add that to my wish list of games to keep a watch on.
Crisis Core?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. You guys ready to get started?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Brandon, you got the new thing, so I guess that means you could go first.
Yeah, I played High on Life.
Mm-hmm.
I expect this game to be incredibly annoying.
Oh.
You guys, I expected it. You guys saw the trailers.
Yeah,
you guys saw the fucking videos and everything.
Yeah,
I'm actually pleasantly surprised. Like, yes, it does have a lot of the elements of like the whole droning on and on and on and on and on and on and on, where it's like, I'm just gonna interrupt and say this thing and everything. But multiple things have surprised me about this game. I've laughed quite a few times at this. There's been some really funny shit in this game, believe it or not. A lot of them has to do with the chatter you can hear from enemies if you don't kill them right away. Like, I had an entire I'm gonna say I sat down for 5 minutes and listened to construction workers argue with each other about what's better, reinforced steel beams, stairs, or door frames. And because they couldn't get on the right page, they decided, you know what, don't worry about it. We'll just come back to this later, and, we're being paid by the hour anyway, so it's a good idea that we do things like this. Like, the entire conversation was really fucking stupid. They were, like, calling themselves alien versions of slurs and insulting each other's for liking stairs and steel beams more than door frames and other shit like that. And I'm just sitting here listening to them the whole time, and you could tell the whole time that's going on, that the entire thing is completely improv. So, like, I actually really like that element of it. I know Justin Roiland does a lot of improv stuff, but he's actually doing a lot here that's very funny. I've found some people in the game also who do voices who are, in my opinion, far better than Justin Roiland, and I didn't know they were in this game, such as Zach from Smiling Friends. He's in this game. He's fucking hilarious, too.
That makes me want to play it automatically.
Exactly, yeah. Like, he plays some of the other elements of the game. So they're like these spy drones that are going around, and at the beginning you're able to pick between two different characters, and whichever one you pick is who's going to be the voice of those drones. And that's gonna, like, there's a lot of actual decisions you can make in this game that change up the dialogue and everything. I've played through this, like, the beginning of this twice, like the first 2 to 3 hours twice, because Katie wanted to see it, so I sat down and played it next to her, and the first time I played it by myself. And I've gotten different dialogue each time when I've made different decisions. So I'm actually, like, I thought that was really fucking cool, too. There's just many things here that I would like to kind of, like, not talk about, because the humor is a lot of the actual gameplay, and that's what makes it so good. But I'll share a few of the, like, smaller things. You're like fighting these guys, and they're like saying, you're not going to be able to defeat us, we're like the strongest enemies in the game. And like your gun's just like, well, statistically speaking, since you're literally our first enemy that we're seeing, you're probably the weakest enemy of the game. And then you just hear like the enemies have like an existential crisis and go into dread about how their entire life has been a lie and everything. It's actually really good. It's fun. It's also like just a fun shooting game. Like, the combat does feel very nice and fluid. The entire boss battle where you're, like, grappling around in the sky while, like, she's trying to flood the floor below you is really good. There's, like, all these other little things where, like, you can accidentally find hidden boss battles just by being a dick. Like, I saved someone, and they were like, oh yeah, thanks for killing my evil clone. things are gonna be much more different around here. And it's like, oh, does that mean there's gonna be no more crime? She's like, oh God, no, I'm an evil clone as well. I mean, there's always gonna be crime. That's just kind of what we do. So I stabbed her, and then it started another boss battle, but she was still tied up. So I just got to unload my gun on her head, repeatedly killing her. And then it's just like, so I guess she defeated that secret boss battle there. Good job. I mean, she was evil, so I guess she deserved it. I didn't really expect that to happen, but yeah, I guess good job. She couldn't defend herself, but I mean, whatever. I mean, we protected the galaxy, I think. All right, let's leave. And like, there's just really weird, random elements of stuff like that, where it's like you kind of break the norm by just doing whatever the fuck you want, and the game will kind of let you do it. Like, I followed the UI, which told me to stab someone, and the guy like screamed at me. He's like, "Do you always follow what the UI tells you?" And I'm just like, "Oh, okay." And there's like other elements where there's stuff like that, and I'm just telling you stuff in like the first hour, so I'm not really spoiling a whole lot because I'm not going to spoil anything past that. But it's just a lot of really obvious things that you would say in your head when you were playing a game. The game decides to say it for you instead and make a joke about it, and it's like, oh, the jokes are actually somewhat land most of the time. And then, like I said, the gunplay is really good, and so is like the exploration and things. It does have a very like Metroid Prime feel to the game, because you are a bounty hunter. You are hunting down these bounties and all this other stuff, and you are on a weird planet that you've never been on, and multiple weird planets that you've never been on. So you're learning about the world around you while you're going from planet to planet to planet, trying to hunt down these bounties. And yeah, it's super cool. It's a lot of fun and really interesting, and it also just happens to be like very Adult Swim humor, but not the worst of it. I was expecting like the worst Rick and Morty humor ever, but it's not that. It's very weird, but at the same time, it makes sense. I did get an achievement called Fallout Won't Let You Do This, because I shot a kid in the face.
What?
So, yeah, exactly. Like, the kid was calling me a meat bag, I think, or maybe it was fresh meat. He was calling me fresh meat, and I like put the trigger on him, and he's like, "We don't do that. We can't shoot a kid in the face." And I just kept pulling the trigger on his head, like you would do on annoying characters in other games. Yeah. And eventually, my gun just shot him in the head, and it's like, "Holy shit! You just shot a fucking kid. What are you thinking?" And then it's like, well, he was annoying, so whatever, fuck it, let's move on. And then, like, we see his mom, and his mom's like, oh, you actually shot my son? My son's kind of a piece of shit. He's really fucking obnoxious. So, yeah, I feel a little sad that he's gone, but otherwise, I don't really give a fuck. Yeah, I told him not to do it, but whatever, it happens. And then then the achievement popped up, and the achievement just said, Fallout wouldn't let you do this, because I killed the kid. And then, yeah, there's other elements where the actual achievement titles are sometimes the punchline of the joke when you're playing the game. So like you kind of need to have like the ability to see your achievements and not have them turned off while playing this game. So yeah, good gameplay, an interesting world, and the jokes sometimes are actually kind of funny. So it's not as annoying as I thought it would be. And then, if you think the continuous talking and chatter from the aliens and your gun is annoying, and you do want it gone, and you don't like the humor of it, and you just want to play the game, there's actually an options menu that lets you turn up and down how frequently your gun and enemies chatter. So that was added as well. And yeah, I mean, it's good. It's enjoyable. I've been having a lot of fun playing it.
That's good.
Yeah. I played through the opening twice, so I guess it's pretty good, right? Anyway, I would like to move on and talk about another thing. That is that I was actually playing it on a Series X.
Oh.
I had to set up my brother's Christmas gift ahead of time, because we're smart and we don't just be like, oh, here's your Series X. Oh shit, looks like other people got one also. Fuck, that sucks. Looks like you can't install any of your games or set up your account or anything.
Yeah,
so I
transferred installing it all day on Christmas.
Yeah, exactly. So I transferred all his account information over. I got his Game Pass set up and all that stuff. And I've been playing his Series X in the living room in here with Katie, because Katie was thinking about getting one in the future as well, and she wanted to see how it felt and like just how good the system itself actually was. So we've been testing it out, and probably will until Christmas when I'll wrap it back up and then actually give it to him as the gift. But yeah, and she's gonna get her own if she does like it. She's trying to decide between getting one of those and a Steam Deck. So she already has a laptop, so like that's 1 point away minus don't like to not getting a Steam Deck, but she doesn't have like a home gaming console or something like that of her own. I mean, obviously we have the PlayStation 5 and we have our Series S, but like she's like, I kind of want something like the PlayStation 5, and I kind of want like something where I can just play Game Pass on a big screen TV. And I was like, yeah, I get that. So she was thinking of getting one of those, and that's why we've been messing around with the Series X. And honestly, it feels really nice. I hadn't used the Series X before, but the like UI is really smooth. I mean, it's kind of got the same feeling as the Series S, but I
would imagine they wouldn't be too wildly different.
Yeah, they're not too wildly different, but it just does everything better, obviously. But it does it in a way where it's like, it's not that it just feels like smoother like frame rate wise, it feels smoother like latency, like when you're actually like using it with a controller with it. I don't know if that's because of some of the TV settings we have or whatever, but it's just it just feels better in every way, shape, and form. And that's like no slight against the Series S at all. It just is like, oh well, this is actually like a really, really nice console. And in some cases, I actually think it feels less cumbersome and better than my PlayStation 5. I'm not 100% sure, but everything just kind of flows. Like I can just search for something and find it very easily in the UI. And when it comes to like my PlayStation 5, when I search for something, sometimes I have to go in and then I have to be like, oh, I want this version of it or this version. I have to go into the product details and this, that, and the other. And I don't really have to fiddle around with any of that in the Xbox Series X. So I actually find that very satisfying as opposed to how PlayStation has all their stuff like ass backwards, in my opinion, the way it's set up with like searching for things and finding different things. I think the console is really nice. I think it runs very, very well. It was interesting because the first day when I played High on Life, the first day when I played it, I could tell it was running at native 4K because I was not maintaining 60 FPS at all times, and it felt like I wasn't holding 60 FPS at all times. And I was like, that's really interesting, but I guess that's just what they wanted to do, what they wanted to go with. I guess they just wanted to do a native 4K version. And then today, there was an update which fixed that, and now it's like a dynamic 4K instead. And I haven't dropped a single like frame since playing the new update that came out today. So, yeah. Which is very interesting. I didn't expect them to get an update like that out so fucking quickly either. So that was kind of impressive. It's just a good system. It's snappy. It feels really nice. I don't really have much else to say about it. And like with Game Pass integrated in, obviously, it just works really well. Yep, there we go. That's it. That's it for my Series X talk. Now V Rising. This is a game I played quite a bit very recently. So Katie wanted to play
this game.
You've played this game?
Yeah, I talked about it on here.
Okay. So Katie wanted to play this game, right? Mm-hmm. And she bought me a copy so we could play it together. This is a really interesting game. I like V Rising. I don't remember how you felt about it, but I
like it too.
I like this game a lot. I like the seamless integration between the crafting elements and the base building elements, as well as just like the adventuring. It feels really nice to play this game. It's very cool. So essentially V Rising, I'm sure we've already talked about this before, but I'm gonna like give a little like quick synopsis. Essentially, from where we're playing right now, we're still building our castle for the first time and setting all that stuff up because we are like very early in the game, like 8 hours in, that sort of deal. And then we went hunting for bosses and stuff. You play as a vampire, and as a vampire, you cannot travel during the day because, well, you're a fucking vampire. And
Makes sense.
it's actually kind of cool because you can travel during the day as long as you stick to the shadows. So if you like plan your route out well, you can actually just kind of like dash in between the shadows and still stay out during the day as long as you avoid direct sunlight, which is very cool. It adds an extra little element to the game because of the day and night cycle and avoiding it, as well as like if you get stuck out there during the day when you were doing your night hunt and you went a little bit too far away and you don't have something set up to as like a place essentially for yourself. It's really cool. It's really interesting. It can be a little bit frustrating at times because I mean, like I said, when you get trapped out there in the middle of the day and you're just like, well, what the fuck do I do now? Yeah, that shit kind of sucks sometimes, but it's good. I really enjoy this game. Would you say it's like a ARPG, that sort of game? Like like your Diablos, like
I get Diablo vibes from it for sure.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I haven't gone far enough in it because I'm still doing some of the tutorial stuff where it's teaching me stuff right now. But interesting enough, this was one of the games that Katie was trying to decide on if she wanted to get a Steam Deck so she could play this on the go.
Mm-hmm.
I have played this on Steam Deck as well. This runs very, very well on Steam Deck, even though it is not set up for it yet. Like, there's no official profile or anything, but the community has made their own, and it works incredibly well. So how much have you played of this, Nick?
I think around 10 hours of it. Honestly, okay. I did the base building. I've done a couple like raids with my friends.
Raids?
Well, like raiding people's castles.
Okay.
Their shit.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Me and Katie are playing. Servers. Me and Katie are actually playing on our own private server. That way we can just kind of understand the game before like dealing with anything or anyone else, you know, because we just didn't want to fall into the PvP element and get completely dicked over while learning how to play the game for the first time. And there is like a way you can host your own local servers and your own online servers and everything, which they, I guess, added later on. And yeah, it makes the game a whole lot more playable, in my opinion, because you can just experience it yourself without having to deal with other people and just invite the people that you want to play it. It's odd. Like, I don't really know what's captivating me about it, but something is just like keeps me coming back to this game. Like, I even kind of want to play it right now, to be completely honest. I haven't really. Did you like fight the world bosses and stuff like that? Like the ones where you have to like hunt them down by doing like the blood altar? But yeah. So we've been actually hunting down each one of those bosses right now. That's what we've been doing.
I think what kept me going back to it was just like what we were talking about, how like it feels like Diablo, and like it's like other than Diablo 2, it's been so long since we've had like a good Diablo game.
Torchlight's really good. Not Torchlight 3. Torchlight 1 and 2 are very good games.
Torchlight 1 and 2 are cool, and then I mean.
There's a Warhammer Diablo like that's also very good.
The extended stuff of Diablo 3, like the expansion was decent. But that's personally what kept me coming back to it. So I don't know. Maybe the same for you.
Me, I think it's actually the survival elements. I like the survival elements where you have to go and hunt down resources so that you can actually build the things you need for your castle. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. It's like almost like Diablo mixed with Rust. That's how my friend first described it to me.
It's very much that, 100%.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, good game, very good game. I've been enjoying that. So, and those are the only games I've played so far. I'm gonna play more tonight when I get my key for Final Fantasy. I do not have it yet though.
For what?
I got Final Fantasy Crisis Core on PC.
Ooh.
Because I heard it runs really, really well on the Steam Deck.
Yes, but, I've seen that. It runs very, very well on the Steam Deck.
Yeah, so I'm waiting to get that key because they were running a little bit late. Because they launched it at 1 p.m. They thought they were supposed to have it last night at midnight. They didn't get their keys, and then when because I got Green Man Gaming, which is a like reputable online seller for game keys. They had it for $35. Something like that. It was pretty cheap compared to like the normal price, and it may have been 31. But either way, got it from there, and they were like, "Yeah, we won't get the keys till 1 p.m." And then apparently, so many people had bought it that like they haven't got all the keys sent out yet. They're still sending them. So there's that. Yeah. But I'll be talking about that next week. So there you go. That's it. That's all I got to talk about. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Are you still here?
I'm going to bed.
Oh,
just kidding.
Okay.
No, it's fine.
Let's see. I'll go. I'll talk about what I did. Some of it's somewhat newish because Splatoon 3 had Big Run this week. So
I completely missed out on it, and I'm an idiot.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have mixed opinions on Big Run. I guess is more what that is about. Okay. So I think it's okay. So thoughts, and I know I said this to you guys. Wahoo World. Wahoo, is that what it's called? Wahoo World?
Yeah.
I don't even remember anymore. It's better. Honestly, I think it's better as a Salmon Run stage than it is as a Turf War stage. Like it works really well for it. The way that it works, like the Big Run stuff, it has you kind of go in between like the center point, like the carousel area, and like then one of the starting areas for different like levels of the tides. I thought that worked really well. And because the stage is not, because it's built more for like the Turf War stuff, it creates an interesting dynamic where you can how do I put this? If you're in Salmon Run and you run somewhere, odds are, for the most part, that something can follow you wherever you're going. But that's not always the case in this stage. Like you can traverse the stage much better than the different salmonids can. So, like, if you have like a steel eel chasing you, it's pretty easy to like really get far away from it, as opposed to how it would be in, say, Salmon Run, like a normal stage. So that was kind of nice. Like I like those kind of things about it. And I think as a concept, Big Run it's a good idea. It's they need, honestly, I think they should start back over from scratch with like the concept and how it's like done. Like I like the idea.
It's great, but it's fucking terrible.
Well, so let me tell you what's terrible about it. Not the idea itself. Like taking the salmonids in, like fighting against them in like a normal like Turf War stage. I like that idea. I think it's like a very grand idea. Like I'm happy with that. But the things that I don't like, so like the distribution of like the prizes or whatever. So the way that it works in this one is like if you are like in the bottom 50% of scoring people in this thing, you just get like a green trophy or whatever. If you are in the next, what would it be, like 35%, then you get like a bronze. If you are in the next, I think it's 10%, you get a silver, and then if you're in the top 5, you get gold. So that's fine, but I honestly think this would probably work better as more of like a cooperative event than like a competitive event. Like, hey guys, the salmonids are invading. Like, if you guys all work together and can, get this many eggs together as a group, you guys get this prize. And, escalate it from there, like, some other games do for certain things. I think that would make it more enticing for people to play.
Okay.
Because the issue with this one was, it's like, okay, so Nintendo put out like a promo, like still, and they were upfront that this was an example. They're like, yeah, if you get 100 or more eggs, you're going to get gold. And I was like, well, that's probably like a pretty reasonable guess. So I got 109 eggs, and that put me squarely into bronze. Because the thing that I did not expect was that the professional players were going to go fucking crazy and boost that like higher tier up pretty high. I think it was like 130 something to get gold. It was a pretty high percentage. So there's that. But the other thing is too, is you have to be in like, to actually get enough bosses to spawn enough eggs to get that many for this, you have to be in like a pretty high tier of Salmon Run play. Like you have to be like executive VP already. So for like a standard player, which most people are, like well above average, like, I mean, you gotta realize you're talking about like the top, well, what would it be, like at least 80% of the players didn't get anywhere near that number to get it. So you're shutting a lot of people out of it right there. So there's that. B, the rewards just kind of sucked otherwise. So, because the Salmon Run rewards, they change, what is it, like every 40 hours or so? But because they bumped this together into like a 2-day event, there was no extra rewards, like when you would normally have like a switch of things. So it's like once you get your max amount of rewards, is there much reason to keep playing? Probably not. So once I got my 109 and maxed out the rewards, I was like, I'm done. There's not much reason for me to play anymore. And two, in this game at halftime, it doesn't give you an update on like what scores you should be shooting for. So you're just completely in the dark until scores come out. So I don't know. Was it fun? I like playing on the stage. Yeah, I like that part. In terms of like the incentive to keep you coming back and wanting to play more, no. Like it just completely, people went in, they got what they wanted, and then they were out. And that was it. So, like I said, I think I would go back through and honestly, I really like the idea of making it more of like a competitive or a cooperative kind of play thing where everyone's working to a certain goal. The other thing I would really do too, honestly, is like because scales are such like a tight commodity in Salmon Run normally, and they didn't change anything with the big runs. Like I feel like if you're gonna do like a competitive payout, like that's what it should be. Like be like, hey, if you were in the top scoring, people for this, you're gonna get some gold scales or whatever. Because as much as I've played Salmon Run, I think I've only gotten maybe 5 gold scales in that hundreds of hours I've put into it. Like you just can't get much. I think I'm at somewhere around 60 silver scales. So it's just they're just very tough to get, and they just really didn't work on the incentive to keep you playing on this one. So I don't know. I like it. Hopefully they'll take some of the feedback and like rethink it. Do they have to? No. But I feel like they have an interesting idea and they can make it so that more people will enjoy it more during those events. Because it definitely 100% did not get the same vibe as say like a Splatfest. Like that's what's missing. Like, Splatfest, everyone comes together and shit gets crazy, in Splatoon. And this one was just kind of like, hey guys, you can play Salmon Run on a different stage. I mean, that's really all it was. So, I don't know. That was kind of disappointing. Like, I wanted more of the excitement there. So, yeah, there's that. I don't know. Do you guys have any questions on Big Run that I might not have, like, thought of? Like,
no, not really.
Yeah, no, I mean, I not having played it, but hearing what you're saying, like, I do agree with you. Like, I don't know why it's not a cooperative thing. Because, like, the whole point of Salmon Run is to be cooperative.
Yeah, and the salmons are invading the city. Like everyone worked together to get them the fuck out.
Yeah, fuck these salmon.
Yeah,
get the fuck out. And they're like, no, we have to compete against each other to get them the fuck out.
Well, and especially considering too, like you pretty much have to be executive VP to get like the highest rewards. Like I feel like that just kind of shuts out a lot of people who might enjoy it a lot, like without having to play the insanity that is those higher levels. It'd be like Splatfest being like only for the people who are playing like the X Games or whatever. Like, yeah, guys, Splatfest, but it's limited just to people who are like X rank. You're like, oh, okay. Well, who gives a fuck then? Like the 10 players that can actually play it. So, yeah, I don't know. But listen, I think it's an interesting idea, and I would like to see it like have a little bit more thought into it. I kind of feel like they kind of rushed it out a little bit, anyways, because they've been talking about this since they announced it, and they just really didn't think through, what it would be like once it's actually implemented. So we'll see. Maybe they'll take some feedback on this. It seems like they've been pretty receptive for stuff as things have been going through. Otherwise, all I've been doing in Splatoon is just working on getting the catalog. I've realized the best way to do it is just go on, win a match a day, and then that's really all I need to do. So, and sometimes I end up playing more. I did end up playing Flounder Heights in between this episode and last. And because that was the one new stage I had not played yet. I like it. It's a lot of fun. So hopefully they keep up with adding the new stuff. So, but it's so funny to me now that like if you go and play Splatoon 3 now, it's like everyone's just only playing with like the new weapons and like the new gear. And it's like it's not that much different, guys. But that's it. The only other thing I've been playing is Persona 5 Royale with cheese.
I like that.
So,
Royale with cheese.
Great.
I caught that.
Meaty. I don't know. So I'll tell you guys like kind of what I started off with last week. This game takes way too fucking long to get started.
That's like, every Persona game.
Every RPG.
That's every RPG. Yeah, that's every.
No,
big
it's not every RPG. Like I've played plenty of RPGs. This is
Xenoblade doesn't count.
This one is aggressive. It's like, hey guys, here's an hour-long Persona anime for you to watch, and then you can maybe interact with some dialogue before watching more anime, and and then maybe it's a little bit more like dialogue choices, and then finally you can get to actual gameplay.
Yeah, and it's fucking great.
It is fucking great.
I don't know. Not sold on that aspect of it. The game itself is fine. The game is just way too fucking chatty at the beginning. It was just a bit much. Like it was. I honestly I took a lot of breaks on this game initially before actually even getting into like the first palace or whatever, just because like it just took too long to get into things. The gameplay itself is good. I have to say too, and now I can actually compare the games because I have played them. This game is very much Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Like you can see Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
Tokyo Mirage Sessions is very, very much this game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Mirage Sessions came first, but Persona.
But the other two did not that you haven't played yet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're all definitely. Mirage Sessions is definitely a Persona game. Which for me coming into this, I was like, oh, okay, I know exactly what I'm getting into.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that, and I don't even know some of the things that Mirage Sessions does, because it snips out a lot of like some of the extra layers of stuff that Persona has on. Honestly, makes it a little bit more enjoyable overall. But Persona, I think, is really good. Like Persona 5 is really good. I'm enjoying it. But I just finished the second palace, so I mean I'm still really early into it.
Yes.
The thing the only thing that kind of bores me in this game is like when you don't necessarily have anything to do. Because you'll get into stretches where it's like,
yeah,
hey, here's a week where like nothing's going on, and you're like, I guess I'll just hang out with Ryuji today.
But so like that's the time where you're supposed to build those relationships with people, and it matters more than you think.
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense later on.
Especially since you're playing Royal, there's certain characters who your confidant level needs to be at a certain spot to get the end game content.
Yeah, well, I read. This is my new idea. It was a great idea because I was like,
okay.
Well, I mean, it's not like that revolutionary, but I'm like, let me look at an article that's like, what should I know about Persona 5 Royale before playing it?
Fair.
Okay. And that was the thing. They're like, just make sure that these 3 confident levels are high, because one of them puts you into the actual extra content.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
And then the other 2 are like extra cut scenes and some context, from what I understand.
Yes.
So I was like, okay, that's fine. I can deal with that. It was no spoilers. It was just like, just make sure you focus on these people. That's fine. But the problem is the first person wasn't actually none of them. Really, I think I've only really interacted with 2 of the 3 so far.
Yeah, so, you haven't run into the other ones yet, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is just what it is. And it's just, just kind of like the time management thing. It's like, I want to go here and I want to do this or whatever. And like I said, it's fine. It's just, and I don't mind it. It's just I wish there was some more variety in the way things were broken up sometimes. Because like I said, I'll just get to a stretch where it's like,
as
hey,
you
5 days.
Continue, there's more, like, it makes more sense why, like, I don't know. I don't want to spoil anything.
Well, I mean, I understand that. I'm sure that these like relationships are going to be worth something. Like I'm not saying like I'm not saying like this is a dumb idea. That's not what I'm saying.
I'll say though too, even like with that, like the relationships when you're just playing the game, they improve your combat. Like when you're actually in like doing like in palaces or whatnot, it does.
Yeah, you get like the
improve.
Extra skills. You get better negotiation with like the demons.
Yeah,
like I'm not saying there's no value in not doing it. Yeah. I just like it's just when you get to the stretches where it's just like school, after school, evening, school, after school, evening, and you're not really like there's not a lot going on. Like it's like I got nothing going on in Mementos to do. I got nothing going on here. It's like it's just when you get kind of stuck in that stretch where it's just like those things. It's like, oh, it's 2 weeks until you find out if his heart's been changed or not. Like, is it necessarily bad? No, it's not. I'm just saying like those stretches are boring sometimes.
Okay.
Like I said, I understand the value of it. Believe me, I'm trying to max out my relationships as much as I can. There's just and now too that I've gotten through the second palace, at least like some of the relationship stuff is not like because Ryuji was just like, let's exercise. Like, I don't want to watch another fucking exercise.
Ryuji's your best bro.
Yeah. and in 2, after the first palace, like Anna wouldn't go out because she was busy being like a good friend. So
Yeah.
like we're just like hanging out with Ryuji all the time, and at the coffee shop, and it's just, and then the coffee shop guy wouldn't even let you go out. You're just like, what am I gonna do today? Because I'll make coffee and then go to bed. Like it seems like really
Learn
bad
how to
advice
make
for high
curry.
school. Oh, I couldn't even do that until just like a day ago in the game. So, so he finally taught me how to make curry, and I was like, oh yay, finally. Oh, and then there's the doctor who's like, hey, do you want to do some drug trials?
The doc, yeah.
And like it's like, okay, that's the only other thing I can do.
Yeah, the
in this
doctor's
game.
like, come here, little boy. You want to take some experimental drugs?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, sure, I guess. Look
I know. Just some of the
drugs?
stuff I feel like they should work themselves up to. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm sure, like, I know that there's a lot of characters I've not encountered yet. So I'm sure that there's going to be a lot more. Because I just randomly saw a list of, like, the people that you could have, like, relationships with. It was something stupid, like 30 people, it looked like.
Yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I've only seen a fraction of these people, like a very small fraction of
Yes.
these people. So I know that there's a lot more going on. And I understand the game's just not, because if the game dumped all those people on you from like day one, like I would be like, I could not fucking stand this game.
Yeah.
So I get it. It's like it's using its little training wheels to get me to where I need to go.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, just this portion where I am has just been a bit slow. But it has gradually gotten better.
A lot of RPG players really like taking things slow, and also I think the whole, I'm not really doing anything, I'm just experiencing high school, I guess, is like an element of Japanese culture in general, because a lot of people that play these games are either, teenagers, that sort of thing, and they're about to leave high school, and it's like marketed towards them, or older people who have already left high school and they miss the days of high school, because unlike America, high school in Japan is like the good times, the times before you become a wage slave and you're stuck there forever and you can never leave your building and you have
remember
to
you're here forever.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, these kids are already going to school on Saturdays, so I feel like they're already wage slaves.
Well, I mean, that's just a Japan thing, isn't it? Like, that happens often.
I have no idea.
I do have to say, actually, in terms of Japan things, the one thing I was really impressed was, like, Shibuya is surprisingly accurate from how I remember it when I was there.
Yes.
So,
yeah, it's like everyone says, damn, they've made an entire city based off of Persona 5.
To be fair, the people at Sega were like, just walk outside.
Yeah,
that's what you're building.
That's what you're doing.
It was like the first time I got to Shibuya Station, it was like, oh, you got to go across the Shibuya crossing to get to the street. And like I looked out and I saw like I distinctly remember that smoking area and the Hachiko statue, and I was like, I know exactly where I am. Like the crossing is right there, and I just
that's like the weirdest thing,
like,
isn't it?
Which part?
Like being in a game and be like, I've stood at this exact.
Oh yeah. Like I've been I've smoked a cigarette inside the smoking thing before, but the game won't even let me go in there. So,
yeah. All right. First of all, I didn't know you were a smoker. That's interesting.
Former smoker at this point.
Former smoker. Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. Interesting. When did you quit? This is cool. This is cool podcast lore. I never knew.
It's been like, I don't even know.
I would assume probably around the same time he was like, I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to doctor school.
It probably was, actually. I think you're
Can't
right.
do these two things.
I was like,
that's like if I decided to go to mechanic school, but it was actively stealing catalytic converters. Can't do that. I gotta give up one of my hobbies.
Damn.
Yeah, but I think you are right, Nick. I think that's about. It was around that time. I don't even remember what really just kind of like precipitated everything, but it all just kind of happened at the same time. But yeah,
that's so cool. That's so neat. I did not ever know that. Cool. Yeah. What was I gonna say? I have a video that I saw at one point where it was around the time of this game releasing on Xbox and on Switch, and someone was in Shibuya in the video, and they're like, "It's just like in Persona," and like right after they said that, a billboard lit up because the game had just released and the theme song started playing, and they just started freaking out immediately.
Good for them.
It's a really good video.
That is really funny. Yeah, but no, they do a really good. It's a really good. You could like navigate the subways like on there. Like they have all the signs and everything.
Oh yeah. I gotta go back and finish Persona 5.
I think you would really.
I thought you did finish it.
I think you would.
I'm very close.
I think you'd really like the Yakuza series, Mike. Like just because of the like if you think Persona 5 recreated places realistically, they're 1-to-1 in the Yakuza series.
Brandon, is it weird to say, and this doesn't make sense without context, I guess. I've tried playing like Yakuza. Yeah, so I've tried playing Yakuza, can't get into them, but I'm looking at Like a Dragon, I'm like, I think I could get into this.
So I don't think so, because Like a Dragon is made for people who both like the Yakuza series and for people who don't. Okay. So Like a Dragon is Yakuza, like 100%, but like it is made for RPG lovers, a lot like Persona, that sort of thing. Okay. So if you like Persona, you'll probably really, really like a Dragon. However, if you don't know anything about the other games, you're gonna miss several of the references. But it's not a big deal. It doesn't have anything to do with the story. It's just more of a wink, wink, hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Like, oh shit, I can summon the main character from Yakuza 4 through my cell phone as a summons. Holy shit, that's fucking cool. You know? Otherwise, you're just like, who's this guy in a fucking coat? Why do I care? You know?
That's right. I mean, I'm sure probably one of these days I'll give some of the Yakuza games a try.
You absolutely should.
But yeah, no, I was impressed at the level of detail that they had for like just in general in this game navigating it. And also said too, like honestly, this game runs like gloriously on the Switch. Like this is a port done really well.
Yeah, that's all I've heard as well. And even on the Steam Deck, you can like max out every single thing to do with it, and even put it in like full 1080p and have not a single frame rate drop, which is impressive.
I mean, I've not noticed any frame rate issues on my end. Granted, you know, like if it's like a minor one, I probably
you're not going to notice anyway. Yeah.
But even then, just for the amount of like this game, like I said, it has like a shit ton of video. It has a shit ton of like I feel like almost everything has like voice acting along with it.
Yep.
And just the file size, like it's smaller than a lot of the other games that I have like on the Switch. I think it comes out at 14 gigs.
Which is actually very shocking.
Yeah,
they've done a great job with that because it's on like it's on a singular Blu-ray, obviously for PlayStation, but like I feel like it's a lot bigger than that.
Yeah, meanwhile,
I think it's 48 gigs on
like
Xbox.
Here's a 20-some gig version of BioShock Infinite. I'm like, you guys couldn't compress this a little more. Like, you didn't have that much compared to this. Like, it's just it's drastic. There's just so much content there. Yeah, so I think that's where I am with it right now. Like I said, I just finished the second palace, and I don't even know. He just keeps talking to that prosecutor chick. I'm just like, here. I finally kind of like understood like the flow of that sequences. This is weird. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. Is there anything else I should know about Persona 5 that maybe I've not said that I should know?
I think it really sucks that the first game you're playing is Persona 5, because Persona 5 is the most improved out of every single Persona game. But I think the writing is done better in some of the other Persona games, and I kind of have nostalgia goggles for 3. So I feel like when you experience 3, you're going to be like, this is shit. But I really like the music. That's what I think is going to happen, because the music's really good. Like, it is my favorite music in any Persona game. But yeah. I think you're going to be spoiled by Persona 5 and not find as much enjoyment in 4 or 3 and find a lot of things to nitpick. Like, I'm 100% sure that's going to happen. But I promise you, if you stick with those other 2 games, if you do give them a try, they are really good and they are their own thing, and you definitely should treat them as such.
Well, I'm sure I'll probably rebuy 4 again. Because it was another game I bought on the Vita and just never booted up. So I mean, that just gives me incentive to like go back and play. Like I said, I did enjoy this, and I imagine that, like I said, you know, where Persona 5 is, like, yeah, obviously it has the advantage of years and years of development, and modern development versus other things. But I mean, Tokyo Mirage Sessions, I'm sure had some shortcomings that like probably would be more comparable to Persona 4 Golden, because I feel like those are more.
So 4 and 3 were both on PlayStation 2, so I feel like you're going to find a lot more shortcomings in both of those games because.
But Golden was a Vita.
Golden was a remastered Vita version,
which
yeah,
you can also get on
3
Steam.
is a remastered PSP version, which is
Yeah,
going
sure
to be
3 is
why
gonna
it's
be.
like,
Yeah.
But
3, I'm sure.
3 is my favorite. 3 is my absolute favorite. Most people just say why, and I say shut up.
I'll probably eventually work my way back there, but I mean, at least knowing what kind of like amount of hourage I'm going to get into this game before I finish it. Like, obviously, I'm not going to finish this and be like, "Oh my goodness, let me jump right into Persona 4."
Oh yeah,
It's too
that
much.
will probably Persona 4. I'm sure will probably be like a this time next year if I'm ready at that point, at the earliest. So. We'll see. We'll see what we get to. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll come off this and be. But I mean, there's no fucking way I'm gonna be done with this game before Persona 4 comes out anyway.
No, I don't think you will. And I think Persona 3 comes out first, doesn't it? Or is
I think they come out at the same time in January.
Oh, thank fuck.
Yeah.
I've been waiting forever to play a remake of 3, and even though it's not a remake, it's more like a remaster. I'm totally down.
Yeah, and the other thing that the Switch and the new releases of this game, it does include like all the extra paid DLC as well.
That's very nice. But I feel like that could be a boon as well, because I think some paid DLC just makes the game easier.
Yeah.
Well, I did start off with like $100,000, and that was very.
Yeah, that definitely makes the game easier.
I was like, they're like, "Do you want to go get a job?" And I'm like, "No, I'm loaded. I'm a trust fund kid. I don't need a job." And it does give you access to some of the more advanced personas, but you have to go into the Velvet Room and get them. It's not like they're just in your like thing. So they're just on your like purchased sheet where you can get them for $0. If that makes sense. Maybe.
Yeah. It makes sense.
Oh, and the other thing that I just had this happen. I think it was today. I did not realize that it was a thing with this game. It's so dumb that if Joker dies, that you like, even if your entire party's fine, like that's a game over.
Yep, that's more so an RPG thing, but
That's
I
definitely
hate
an
that.
RPG thing. Yeah,
I've always hated
That's
that
like
too.
they're still alive. I'm like, they can just revive him. No,
You know what is funny too? Whenever I pick up a new RPG and like my lead character dies, I'm like, all right, boys, let's find out what kind of RPG is it. Are we gonna keep trucking, or is that it?
Yeah,
no,
I
agree. That's definitely an RPG problem, though, just in general.
Yeah, it depends. It depends.
It's very archaic. It's very archaic. A lot of turn-based games do it. I believe Final Fantasy X did that as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's been so long since I played 10. I don't even remember. Yeah. So.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. Honestly, I'm actually very happy for you.
I'm enjoying it more than I thought it was, and I think a lot of it, like I said, I think the one thing that this game really had as an advantage with me going into it was it's so much Tokyo Mirage Sessions that some of the stuff I feel like if I'd gone into it like cold without that, like I probably would have been more annoyed with. But because I was like, I'm like, I know exactly what I'm expecting, and like these, like just some of the oddities of like just exploring the palaces and stuff, like that's exactly the same as like Mirage Sessions was. So I'm like, oh, okay, like that makes total sense. Like I'm like, I get it. Like I get how the battle system works like really well, just because it's identical to Mirage Sessions. So it's like, oh, so I'm like,
yep,
I know exactly what I'm getting into. Like that stuff's all fine. I will say, and I imagine the other versions were like this too. The one thing that just kind of like I do find actually like strangely annoying is the controls for this game. Because how do I put this? It's not that hard to explain, but it's like if you are in a conversation and you want to choose a different choice, it's not, you don't use the control stick, you have to use the D-pad. I'm like, why? Okay. Why do you do this? Like a lot of the navigation stuff is different between the joystick and the D-pad. So like you'll be like going through and doing something, and then you got to switch to the D-pad. Or like for a game like this, like I'm never gonna hold it with like both my fingers on like the triggers, like L and LR or whatever, or LZ. But it's like to do like your sight, like your thief sight or whatever, it's like LZ. But then to use the grappling, it's the L button. and I'm just like, this is annoying. Like, I don't know why you did it like this. Yeah, it's weird things like that. Nothing that like completely breaks it. Like obviously it's an RPG. Like you have all the time in the world to do things, but it's kind of like I feel like you could have made it a little bit better. And it's just, his movement inside the palace is just kind of like wonky. Like he runs strangely, chaotically. Like in this last palace, I cannot tell you how many times I've like accidentally run into those laser things, not because I couldn't see them, but because like the controller was like, I'm just gonna make you walk into this. You're like, oh, okay. I don't know why you need to make like a wide circle to turn, but sure, whatever. Yeah, that's my only like minor complaint. The music's great. I like that, and another point for the compression team too, because all that music is obviously like not rendered in the game. It's like recorded stuff, vocal tracks and everything. So it's very good, very catchy music. Well, there's one song that. Sorry, this is my last thought on this.
No. Please do share. It's see. You are getting to experience what both me and Nick got to experience like years ago. So like you have a lot of things to say about the game, and we want to hear because you couldn't say them last time when we were playing. So
I'm sure
we're actually much more interested than you probably think we are. Because I like hearing when people like a game that I like or that I enjoy or that I think I would like for other people to experience even.
Okay.
So
well, don't worry, Brandon. You got about 80 more hours of listening to me talk to this game.
Hell yeah, dude.
No, but there's one song that comes up, and I don't know what it is. I can't remember when it comes up, like what like type of scene it comes up in. But every time it does, I'm like, it's the Home Depot commercial. Do you have any clue what I'm talking about?
Wait, what?
There's one song that just kind of starts out like the Home Depot like commercial song where it's like,
I don't know.
Hold on.
I don't know.
Like it's like the first couple notes of it.
It's that Home Depot beat. It's crazy.
Hold on, I gotta hear this.
What song could it be? Because I listen to so many.
I think I know what it is. A Home Depot song. I just typed it. Let's see.
Is it? Wait. Is it the Hold on. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Is it this? Because like it kind of has the same. It's got that Home Depot beat.
I just put Home Depot Persona 5.
I'm like, what are we?
Hope it's not this one.
It's not that one?
No. I'm sure there's only 3 songs in Persona 5, so it should be pretty easy.
Oh no.
You mean 400?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know, because the Home Depot beat. Hold on. Let me listen to the Home Depot song real quick. Okay. How many palaces have you said you've done?
2.
No, I don't know. I don't fucking know.
Can you tell me like where the song is playing? I'm really curious now.
It's playing when you're doing things.
That's not okay.
Oh, I thought of something else we could talk about quick while I try to find this song for you.
Okay.
Mario Kart, the new DLC just came out.
I did play that.
Yeah, you played it too?
I did.
What did you think?
I think this is the best batch of tracks we've gotten thus far.
Yeah, I think overall, I think they were pretty good.
Yeah, like they've been getting progressively better.
Yes, even like the Christmas one, I did not think was bad. It didn't have like the other new tracks from it. I've not really liked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Like the Ninja House or whatever. I didn't like the one that was like the cookies. I didn't like, but this one I thought worked really well.
Is it? Wait,
and
if it's this song, I'm gonna fuck you up.
The Berlin music for Mario Kart, amazing.
Yeah, no, it's very good. Is it the song that I just posted? Is it fucking Tokyo Daylight?
No.
No?
No, I didn't think it was that one either. I'm listening to literally the whole soundtrack right now. Like the first
I have one more try for this because I don't know what fucking Persona song sounds like the Home Depot theme.
I know I'm gonna go back and play it, and I'll be like, I know this is the one, and then I won't know where to tell you guys how to find it.
I'm listening to I'm going through all of them.
But no, I like all the new tracks that they added. What was it? Fucking, I remember the tracks that they put on this one.
Let's see. Well, we had
They're
Berlin.
they're they're merging together. There we go. The 3DS Rainbow Road, very good. Wii Maple Treeway, very good. GBA
Yeah,
Blue
so
Lake, very good. Like, there's a lot of good shit here. And I normally don't like the first couple of tour maps that they ported over. I feel like didn't work very well. Like Paris Promenade and Ninja Hideaway, I thought were like shit.
yeah,
Tokyo
Ninja
Blur was
Hideaway is
fine.
horrible.
Yeah, no, Ninja Highway just straight up just does not work for me. Um, and then the ones that came in the second one, Sydney and New York were better. Sky High Sunday was fine, and now London Loop is one of the new tour maps, as well as Berlin and Merry Mountain. All good, perfectly fine.
Like I said, it has a bump in music track. I
Yeah,
love it.
very good. I assume at this point they're just gonna add every Mario Kart Tour track because there's like 6 left, I think. I do
Okay.
hope we get either DK Mountain or Dino Jungle because that would be great. Love those ones.
Yes. I haven't looked to see if they found any more of them yet.
Yeah.
Like data mined. I don't know if there was any update on like the data mining from.
I don't know.
Is it this song?
Did I do it?
I think it might be this song.
The Everyday Days?
Oh yeah, and that's the one I was just listening to too.
Let me listen to this.
That's not a Home Depot ass beat.
What?
It starts out with a slappy bass, and he gets the Home Depot theme.
I'm not sure if it's the right one or not though.
I'm still going through.
Man, I don't know.
No, I don't think it is that one.
All right, I'm just gonna have to start the game from scratch.
I'm literally going through the entire soundtrack right now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because I feel like it's got more of like a beat thing, and that's why I always think of it.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, wait, is it? Have you been to the airsoft shop yet?
Yeah.
Is it the airsoft shop?
I don't think so. I don't think I.
Because that one kind of has like a little Home Depot vibe to it.
I wish I remembered like where I heard it, so I could be like, oh yeah. It's nice.
I will say the airsoft shop song "Layer Cake" is one of the best songs in the game, in my mind.
Nope, no, that's not. That is a
Yeah.
good song.
Okay. I also don't know like how early some of these songs happen in the game.
Yeah, I'm thinking that same thing. I'm like, do I want to spoil something for him? I don't know if this.
Listen, it doesn't spoil anything. It's just music.
I mean, some of the songs I just went through, I was like, these definitely were not places I've been to yet.
Yeah, I don't know. If it's not the one I just posted, Life Goes On, then I give up. Because that's like the slappiest bass song that I could find.
No, it's not. I've never heard that song before.
Dude, Electronic Store is pretty hype.
That is.
Really? Is it? Oh, wait. Is it? Oh my god. I can't. Like, I keep finding new ones, but the problem is the Persona 5 OST has like a lot of good just bass lines.
Damn,
So,
dude, I
it's
forgot
fantastic.
how good Darknet was. Hold on.
You know what Electronic Store sounds like, Brandon? I Want Candy.
Nope, not this one.
Okay, I don't know. Got nothing for you.
Oh, this music's so good.
Okay.
Anyways,
Yes.
do you have anything else to say on the new Mario Kart stages since we just got
No.
pulled up? They did add in the ability to like select weapons or whatever. Or, like, what items to come out.
Have you tried that yet?
I have not.
It's an absolute fucking madhouse of a mode. So we were playing it the night that they came out, and I don't know how my friend set it up, but I ended up getting a blue shell in first place, and I was like, I wonder how this will work. And I ended up fucking just killing myself with a blue shell, which was great. I got a bullet bill in first place and just was gapping them. And then when we tried to fix it a little bit, it ended up everybody behind me started getting like I'd have like 3 or 4 blue shells just trailing me.
Oh, nasty!
It was great. It's utter nonsense, but it's great.
The only thing I could think of is arrogance, unfamiliar arrogance. I'm sorry, I'm still listening to the Persona soundtrack.
But don't worry, I am too. But I've not found it yet. What was I say? Anything? Well, there's something else about Mario Kart 2. The stages. I did have some weird I was gonna say if there's anything that Mario Kart 8 did I feel like was well ahead of its time, is those replay videos are phenomenal.
Oh yeah, they're very good. They're definitely very good. But
all I know is it better not be rivers in that desert, or else I'm just gonna scream.
He wouldn't have gotten
like
that far.
I would.
Yeah, he definitely wouldn't have forgotten that far. Rivers in the Desert is for
later.
Like
yeah,
it's at the later
I just know
palace.
I don't know if I didn't know if it played beforehand because I thought it did.
Yeah.
Couple times. But like I said, being able to tell you where I've heard it, don't know. I don't know if it's cutscenes. I don't know if it's conversations. I don't know if it's just me walking around and it's there. It's just I've heard it enough times that I've been like Home Depot.
I'm just trying to go through everything right now. I'm literally on like.
I don't know if I want to find out because if it's a song that I actually really like, I don't want it to ruin it.
You don't like Home Depot?
More of a Lowe's guy. Definitely more of a Lowe's guy.
Anyways.
I just realized I was listening to the Persona 5 original soundtrack, not Persona 5 Royale. Damn, I'm an idiot.
That's what I'm listening to too, just the first one. I mean, statistically speaking, it's more likely to be a Persona 5 song.
I bet it's not.
Is it this song? It might be this song.
Which one?
I'm gonna post it right now. It might be this song.
No. I refuse.
I reject that. I reject that.
I refuse. For the listeners at home, he just posted fucking "Is it boring?" as the song he thought it was. What the fuck? This song's so good. This ain't no Lowe's theme. I mean, Home Depot theme.
Theme like bumps.
What?
I don't know what Home Depot theme you think you're listening to. Did you listen to it to compare it?
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's a song.
You found it? Oh shit!
It is 100% this song.
Oh god!
I'm
What
preparing
is it?
myself for the third impact.
Here we go. What is it? It's what? It's not restlessness. No.
It is. You gotta listen to the beginning of it. It totally is.
Brandon, in your heart, listen to specifically isolate the guitar in the background.
Yeah, it's specifically the guitar. Like it is. That is 100% it.
Damn it.
Rewinding.
And like I said, it's only like the first like 10 seconds of the song. Like just that guitar part from the beginning. Every time I hear it, I'm like, Home Depot. Do you need flashlights? Come down to Home Depot. I don't even know what the commercials sound like, what they say.
Oh my God.
It's just the dumbest things. Do you need nails?
You gotta build a deck this weekend. Bitch.
Let me see.
He's actually right, isn't he, Nick? He's actually right, isn't he?
I don't want to admit it.
They just took the Home Depot theme and put some better tracks over the top of it. I need to lie down. I don't know if I can do the rest of this podcast after that. I don't know.
Hold on.
I don't know.
I'm gonna let you guys know. I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna send it to my friend who is a huge Persona 5 just head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna see if he hears it.
You should just be like, you shouldn't tell him what I thought it was. You should just be like, hey, I was told that this song sounds like a commercial for a well-known company.
No, you gotta tell him.
What? No, you gotta ask him what he thinks it might be. See if he is that Home Depot? Is that what it is? You know, see if you can figure out what it is. And then
all right, I sent it to him. I'll let you know if he responds.
Anyways, you guys want to get to news?
Not really anymore.
Well, actually, where's the fucking picture that I saw that ties into
we gotta
news?
talk. We gotta talk about the Game Awards.
I'll say Game Awards for last. We'll get the little news out of the way. So, rumors: Final Fantasy Pixel Perfect's coming to PlayStation and the Switch. Apparently leaked off the ESRB. So, I was excited until I saw they sold for $100 for all of them on the Steam store.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, if you want to buy all 6 of them, $100 on Steam.
Hold on. Let me do some.
That's actually 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. So that's 5 games. How many games is it in the Pixel
6
Perfect?
Games. 6 games.
Okay, so you're getting one free. So that seems about right because they normally charge $20 per game.
Yeah, I mean,
I think the actual price it's something weird. It's like 13 for the 3 NES games and like 18 for the SNES games. It's
Sure,
like
why not?
the actual breakdown, but it's weird.
So, just real quick, I
Yeah.
asked him if it sounds like the Home Depot theme to him, and he's like, "I hate this song now."
Hey, look at, I'm just doing what I can.
To ruin everything for everyone.
Well, don't worry. I mean, I still have about 80 hours of music from Persona to go through. So I'm
Fans are gonna be like, dude, this reminds me of the Subway theme. Like a sandwich place, not an actual Subway.
I did hear the funniest joke about Subway the other day, and I can't even remember what.
Damn.
I know. Maybe I'll remember what it was as we keep going.
But
anyways,
when you hear the theme in Persona 5 somehow.
Yeah, but like, oh yeah, that's what it was. It was something about like it was about how like winners go to Subway, because I think that was a slogan in like Australia or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's like winners go to Subway, and like the comedian was like, the people that are in Subway can't even win child custody.
Hey, that's pretty fucking good, actually.
I was like, yeah, I'm like, I feel like this is an international thing. I can totally get behind this.
That's awesome.
But anyways, yeah. So Final Fantasy games are coming to the Switch, which I don't know. I'm excited. I really want to play 6 because I've like always skipped out on it, and I know it's one of the best ones. Mm-hmm. And there's a really sick collector personality inside me that's like, why don't you get all 6 of them? Because you already have 7. And I was just like, it's sick. I don't think I could ever even like imagine booting up 3 again ever in my lifetime.
3,
I know
original 3 on NES, right?
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. 3's trash.
Yeah, it's fucking garbage.
4's really good. 4's like real. Is it 4 I'm thinking of?
4's great. Yeah, 4's great. I've heard 5 is decent too.
Is that the Cecil one? Cecil? Whatever.
Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah, Final Fantasy 4 is one with Cecil. That one's one of my favorites. 2's actually one of my favorites, surprisingly enough. 5 and 6 are also like pretty much whenever anybody brings up the Final Fantasy conversation and their favorite game isn't 7 or 10, they usually default to either 5 or 6, and it's mostly 6.
Yeah, 6 is me.
Yeah.
I think it goes 6, 10, 7, possibly.
Yeah.
No. 6, 9, 10, 7. 9's really good. That's the one where it was like a return to form, and that was the one that had like Vivi and everyone.
Yes, I think 9's the most iconic in terms of like character models, but then 7's like obviously the biggest.
Yeah, I have a bunch of the Final Fantasy games like wish list on my Switch because they go on sale all the time, and I'm like, one of these days, I know I'm going to end up, because 12 is one I've been meaning to drop the bomb on for a while. And
12 is very good, actually. I like 12.
No, I know. It just timing wise, it's never on sale when I'm in the mood to play like a very expansive RPG. So it's just been a matter of like, it will happen eventually. 8, I feel like I probably will do at some point too. But now that they have all these other ones, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm sure I'll do those again too. But not for $20 a piece. So, but they sell them all separately on Steam. So I mean, I can just, I'll probably piecemeal them as they go on sale eventually.
It's probably for the best. I know. I'm gonna say what I've said to other people, right?
Mm-hmm.
I honestly think you would really enjoy a Steam Deck, Mike, because a lot of the things you're talking about, like, oh yeah, I'll probably play this on, get this on Steam when it goes on sale or whatever, or piecemeal it on Steam. Like, if you did that and you had a handheld, then it's just like you have a Switch again. If you have the Steam Deck, you just play your Final Fantasy games, and then that way. I don't know. I think you would actually get a lot of enjoyment out of it, especially if you never went into like all the tinkering elements and everything, and you just got games that you could just boot up instantly. I think you'd really like it since you're such a big proprietor of the Switch, but you just want a Switch that works. So
fair.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, I don't have anything against the Steam Deck. Unless if I ever wanted to get more back into PC style gaming again, I would. It's just I just don't have that much that's really incentivizing me that way at the moment. So let's say maybe someday. Like, I love the portability of the Switch. It's kind of my big selling point for it. So, or maybe if Steam Deck gets a model with better battery life, I mean, that'd definitely be a selling point.
Yep,
too.
that's the one thing holding a lot of people back right now, and I think it will when they have like a second generation model or whatever in the future, which I definitely know they will have, because in case you guys didn't notice, since we're still on Final
I don't
Fantasy.
think we have anything else to talk about with Final Fantasy.
In case you guys didn't notice, they were giving away one every minute at the Game Awards.
I was trying to win one.
And you know what the best part of? The best joke I heard of the night was not the Bill Clinton kid. The best joke I heard of the night was, damn, my boy Christopher Judge out here trying to give away a few extra Steam Decks.
Oh my god, yeah.
Because of his 7-minute long fucking speech.
That was only 7 minutes.
It was 7 minutes, yeah.
It felt like 20.
It did feel like 20.
I actually, like, I saw them giving away the Steam Decks, and I was like, oh, I should try to win one. And I saw this before the show. Like, I knew it was a thing. But then they were like, you must have purchased a Steam game within, like, the last year, like, starting and ending with, like, November.
Well, no,
like,
if you were a new account, that's what it was. If you had an old account and you already had stuff on it, I believe that you could just...
the thing I saw was it had to have had a purchase within, like, that 1 year. And I was like, oh, I had not. Like, obviously, my purchases were... like a couple years ago at this point. I had logged in during that time, surely, but I had not purchased anything during that time.
I see.
If that was bad information, then that sucks, because then maybe I would have won one. Then this conversation would be moot. But no, I did not win one, and I did not try. So at that point,
shame.
So yeah, so is that.
Yeah, Katie tried to win one. She lost to MILF Hunter.
Yeah, we all lost to MILF Hunter.
Yeah, we all lost to MILF Hunter. At one point, it was like, MILF Hunter has won a Steam Deck, and it was in big letters underneath the stream. And everyone was just memeing the fuck out of it. It was great.
Anyways, other news. So we talked about the Microsoft Activision merger last week, but no more news is coming out of that since last week. Because now the FTC is officially filed to go against the merger. Although I guess from what I've been reading online, like they filed the lawsuit in their own, like the FTC I guess has their own court system, not like federal court or
real court.
Whatever.
It's
kangaroo
court.
So the people who were talking about it were like, so it's not really like it won't stop the acquisition, it will just make concessions. So they're like, this merger should still go through unless something changes. And you can see, obviously, Microsoft's trying to make some more moves on their end of things.
Yes.
Because the big news that came out is Nintendo is getting 10 years of Call of Duty out of this deal. Obviously, Microsoft did not specify exactly what that was. And this specifically did not specify the Switch, which I think a lot of people can say that makes sense. Sony did release a comment that I saw that was like, the Switch can't even run Call of Duty, basically.
Well, I was laughing because somebody booted up their copy of Black Ops 1 on the Wii, and they're like, guys, the server's still up. Let's go.
Yeah, and there's speculation that it's like, Microsoft could port over, say, like, whatever what is it, Warzone? Is that the mobile version?
No. Warzone is the Battle Royale.
Battle Royale that just came out with 2.0. My assumption, right, with all of this would be that once Microsoft owns it, they put it on Game Pass, obviously, but they also have it on the streaming service. So then you could stream it through Microsoft's xCloud, and xCloud would be added to the Switch, which then would give Nintendo Switch 10 years of access to Call of Duty.
Well, that would also make sense. Because I mean, obviously Microsoft wants to make, and I think that's the other thing too. Like if Microsoft can get Nintendo to take, Game Pass out of their things, like that would be a bigger opening of their catalog into the markets, and just to be like, hey, look, it's on Nintendo too. Because like I said, we talked about it last week. But I just feel like it's just kind of Microsoft or Sony being pouty that it's not on their system when it's available on Xbox and on PC. Even I feel like that's a wide enough audience to kind of skirt around that if they really wanted to.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because I think the other thing about it too is like, if Nintendo got the deal because Sony said no.
Yeah, that's
that would be fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Like,
I saw today that Microsoft was trying to say like, oh, you can put Call of Duty on PlayStation Plus if you want.
Yeah,
that's a thing you can do.
Yeah, and they were like, we don't want to do that. So it's like, dude, how much more anti-consumer could you be?
Yeah.
Like, legitimately. If they're like saying, yeah, if we buy it, you can just give it to people. So then they have...
I will say,
I don't know.
Transversely, like, I saw an article that popped out this week that was, what's his name? from Xbox. Who's the main dude?
Phil
Spencer. He was like, well, Sony just wants to make Xbox's footprint smaller. And I'm like, you're doing that though. Like you're doing that to PlayStation technically. So like it's just funny how like he's trying to blame them for doing exactly what he's doing in a sense. But at the
would
same
agree
time,
with you if
Sony's
it wasn't
not
for the fact that
like playing golf.
we've literally watched Sony try to make everyone's footprint smaller. Like remember when
But that's what I'm saying. Like it's just a funny accusation because they both do it.
Rocket League, Fortnite,
Yeah.
like they I mean yeah. But
I'm just saying like both companies are doing it.
Okay, so I agree, but also like if you're being offered a way to play the games on your thing and then someone else is still owning the game and they're not being like, no, it's only mine, then how is that making their footprint smaller?
I mean
that's what I'm
also
confused
fair.
by. That doesn't make any sense.
That's also
to me.
fair. And what's fair is like, like I said, Sony does the same thing to them because it's like, oh, we have to buy exclusivity rights for FF16 for a year for no fucking reason.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like it's just
exactly.
stupid.
Why do you have exclusivity rights to a non-first party game? Not even a developer, just a single game. Like it doesn't make any sense. I believe Forsaken is also exclusive to PlayStation 5.
It's fine, but that game's ass, so it doesn't matter.
I haven't played it yet. I'm gonna download the demo and then be able to be like, yeah, this game's ass.
But as far as we've seen so far too, like despite the amount of acquisitions that Microsoft's made, it's not like it's really moved the needle on sales in any drastic measure either.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I mean, like I know some friends who don't have gaming PCs and really want to play Starfield, so they'll most likely end up buying one of the series consoles, which is like makes sense.
Yeah.
But I also pretty much suggest to all of my friends if you don't have one of those consoles that it's not a bad idea to get one.
Yeah, I think at this point, so I was like actually talking to my friend. I feel like when you look at the PC performance, even on high-end systems, on modern games, and then you look at the consoles performance on with like just these $500 consoles or whatever, it's actually much smarter right now, more so than ever, to just buy one of those consoles instead. Now, this is PC Gamer Man that's telling you don't come to PC because we are a fucking mess right now because developers are building for systems that don't exist yet, and that is a big issue.
Yeah, but maybe they'll exist someday.
I doubt it. I mean, like I'm saying systems that don't exist, but what I mean is they're just not optimizing anything because they just don't give a fuck anymore. And that really sucks. I do want to stress this isn't every game, but like for instance, Callisto Protocol was a fucking disaster when it launched. I mean, we've had massive games launch that were just disasters on PC, just unplayable completely.
But I mean, this is the issue everywhere. I mean, we were just talking about it with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and that game has absolutely no excuse for being like that.
Yes, true.
Yeah.
Well, it does, and it's the excuse that Game Freak doesn't know how to make video games.
No, but I mean, but I'm saying, like, in terms of optimization, like, you could optimize that, like, really significantly. Like, there's just, they just didn't. And it's, we see that with, like, a bunch of different things where it's just, like, they're just going to be like, well, we don't care. We're just going to put it out like it is, and, it is what it is, and that's all there is.
Yep.
And unfortunately, it's not limited to just PC. It's just everywhere.
That is true, but I will say with Unreal Engine 4 and 5, which are going to be two of the most used engines, they're currently in 4 there is a bug that has been in Unreal Engine 4 since the get-go, which is a thing called shader caching, and shader caching causes your game to stutter every time it sees a new element on PC. You could have a fucking $10,000 computer. It will not fix this issue. You can't fix the issue because you'd have to have Unreal Engine, like the people that made Unreal Engine, fix their engine. And since they have refused to do so this generation, on PC, you're just going to have a worse experience, no matter what.
Yeah.
And that sucks. That really sucks.
It does.
And I'm hoping now that we're moving onto Unreal Engine 5, we're moving into other such things like nanites and Lumen and all this other stuff. We are already seeing a case where it's better. So I'm hoping that keeps up and as more of that comes to next gen consoles, which we're already seeing on next gen consoles, that it'll be a better experience for PC as well. You're never going to see that on Switch, but but maybe Nintendo with their next system or something will have some neat features. Who knows?
Yeah.
I think the smartest thing Nintendo could do is like some kind of downsampling for their console, like FSR or something. Like then you have
rumors that they're. Oh,
sorry.
No,
I was just gonna say, then you can have that better performance, even if the game is shitly made, such as like with Pokemon.
Yeah. I say the rumors keep on saying that, they're on the precipice of releasing a new system or announcing it. They're saying, I don't know. The last rumors I saw were next year. Who knows? You never know with Nintendo. They're going to sit on it just like everything else.
Yep.
But if you look at historical patterns, like they should be just about out the door. So, and I mean, next year makes sense with Zelda. Stick it out like we did with Breath of the Wild, the last one, and just kind of be like, hey, here you go, cross system. And especially considering too, at least you would hope it's Nintendo. You never know, but in this current market, they would be absolutely insane if their next system is not backwards compatible. So
yeah, that would be a mess.
Yeah.
I think if they don't have a hybrid console, again, they would also be insane. Because I think too many people have already grown accustomed to that, and too many games are built around like the ability to just take it portably and that sort of thing. So as such, if
it's worked so well for them, it's worked so well for them in the consolidation of their teams. Seems to really paid off for them. So I agree. I would be shocked if they did not do like a hybrid system again too, because I mean it really is. It's been one of the big things that's really been making it like a secondary system for a lot of people. So it's like, hey, I already own Diablo 3 and I can now play it in my bed. That's kind of nice.
Yep, that's exactly what happens. That's what sells so many Switches.
Yeah. And not to mention too, it's it does have all the Nintendo catalog there too, so it opens up a avenue of games that are just not available anywhere else. It's not like am I going to choose between PlayStation and Xbox? Like your overlap is 90% of the same games. Whereas with this, it's like, hey, you get the portability and Nintendo stuff, which is the bigger draw usually.
Very good. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyways, you guys ready to talk about the video game awards?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I put some like highlights down there and things to talk about, but
I had fun with this. Like, I thought the Game Awards was fun.
Yeah.
I had a group of people watching it though, so.
I did like a whole viewing party thing.
Oh yeah, we had like 12 people in chat.
Our friends, we did that too.
Cutting up my shit. It was good. So you got some highlights. We got everything on our that me and Nick had.
Yeah, I just found a list of what was announced. Fucking everything.
Yeah.
There were a lot of things announced. I mean, I just put like the things that I thought were the most interesting in there because I did see some other ones that I'm like, I don't care about putting this in here.
Yeah, you didn't put my favorite announcement of the entire Game Awards in here. Dead Cells is getting a DLC that is actually based off of Castlevania with the rights to Castlevania games in the DLC. And the weapons will be from Castlevania, and the biomes will be from Castlevania, and the storyline will be from Castlevania, and there'll be bosses from Castlevania and outfits, and it's just all Castlevania themed. And not like a bootleg Castlevania. It's legitimately licensed Castlevania, and I'm super excited for it.
That's pretty cool.
Very excited for that.
That was one of my favorite announcements of the night.
I liked how the trailer played out because it was like them just fucking up the dude from Dead Cells, and then there was like, oh wait, shit, Dracula, fucking get him, and they just start fighting him.
Yep.
That was very good.
Let's see what else they announced. Bayonetta Origins, Reza and the Last Demon. I think this one surprised a lot of people.
It did.
It shocked me. Yeah, it definitely shocked me. I wasn't expecting another Bayonetta game already.
No, and well, so I think I mentioned this to you guys in our like chat, but so there's a secret chapter in Bayonetta 3.
You did mention this. Yeah.
You have to purchase it, and then you have to find like 3 hidden keys in the game to unlock it. And it's literally, it has to be like a demo of the first 5 minutes of this game. And that's why I remember, being kind of cryptic when we were talking about it. I'm like, yeah, there's this hidden chapter. It's just absolutely wild. Like it doesn't match up with anything else in this game. And that explains why, because it is this. I figured it was probably like some sort of like DLC, like some like hook they were going to have in for like a DLC expansion kind of thing. But apparently they're planning a whole standalone game. Yeah.
Yep.
I think the art style is kind of cool. Like even like the demo thing too had like maybe like a 15-second just flash of all sorts of scenes that are probably going to be coming from this game. You don't really have enough time to digest any of it while you're watching it. I'm sure someone, if they went through and recorded it and took the time to like frame by frame like pull out everything that's in there, I'm sure there's some interesting details in there. But it looks really interesting. In terms of concept, it seems kind of more like a pseudo, how would I put it? Somewhat point and click adventure, somewhat like
it just looks like a top down like action like platformer. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, well, in the part that I played, like it just you kind of you play as Bayonetta, you kind of just walk around this world, like you can find things that you can interact with and not necessarily always like obvious. There are some puzzles to solve and you kind of like go forward and backwards through the level to solve them. So that's kind of where I got that like kind of like point and click adventure aspect to it. But like I said, it did have some like action elements to it, but none of them seemed to be like too pressing. Like this was not like Bayonetta 3, like let's do some like combos and knock out some demons. Like this is, hey, you have some time to fuck around and figure out how this puzzle works and go to the next area kind of thing. So I think it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see if it actually like lives up to what they're selling. But you could even tell in like the little demo thing, like there was all these different things that you would collect, like that they would like give you like these different colored orbs and things, and I'm like, they must mean something. There's no way they took the time to like make all these things for a useless 5-minute demo. So
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but it's you're Bayonetta and you're walking around with like a little Cheshire doll in the middle of this like creepy forest, which is probably tied into some event that has to do with the story of Bayonetta 3, which is spoilers, so I will not talk about what I'm referring to.
Okay.
But there is, I think I can say it cryptically enough that it is not like a spoiler, but they do hint at, because you know how there's like Paradiso and like Inferno and then like the real world kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it does, like there is a hint in Bayonetta 3 that there might be like a fourth world.
Okay.
Possibly. It doesn't say it for sure, but there is something that does not make sense in the other 3 worlds, which makes you think that there might be a fourth one. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And because there's this game world does not seem to fit in with the other 3 worlds that we know of, it makes sense that this might be, say, a fourth world that ties into the other things in Bayonetta 3 that don't make sense.
What was it? Kamiya came out this week. He was like, "Yeah, I don't think the series will ever end."
Yeah, I did see that. He's like, "I've already pitched Bayonetta 4 and 5."
Yeah.
So
fuck it.
Yeah. He's probably like, "Take that, Bayonetta voice actress."
Bitch, you should have taken the deal. I've altered the terms of the deal.
Pray don't alter them. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think she would voice baby Bayonetta anyway, so sucks to be her. Let's see what else. Fire Emblem Engage is getting an expansion pass. Like,
4 of them.
Yeah. Another season pass because we love them. Oh, Nick, we totally skipped over what you've been playing. Speaking of
that, you know what? It's fine. I haven't done anything of substance. I've just been playing Pokemon, really. And I played like another level of Mario and Rabbids, but it's mostly just been Pokemon. Don't worry about it. It's cool.
I don't even know how we missed it. Well, we can touch base next week. I play a little bit more Mario and Rabbids, so I was going to talk about that with you soon. But okay, yeah. Anyways, video game awards. Hades 2.
Yeah, that was
Hades
cool.
2, baby.
I was not expecting that. It's the first ever Supergiant game that's had a sequel.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, my second favorite announcement was Tekken 8. It's just fucking cool.
Tekken 8 looks great. Street Fighter 6 looks fucking great. I can't wait for both of those games.
Yes.
Good.
Oh my god, yes. Street Fighter 6 looks so good.
Like, finally, we're back with a good Street Fighter. 5 was so trash.
Yeah, 5 was trash. It got better, but
The damage was done.
The damage was done. Yeah, it could not heal. Nature could not heal that one.
No.
But damn, the 6 looks so flashy and colorful and looks so good. I love the graffiti theme to it, and I like the idea of the open world where you go around and hunt down your opponents. It's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
I'm super excited for that. My third favorite announcement was Returnal for PC. I fucking love Returnal. Oh. Holy shit, is its requirements ridiculous though?
Yes, it
32 gigabytes of RAM.
Yeah, that's normal.
No, it's not normal. The normal amount of RAM for a computer currently would be 16 gigs. Like that's,
you're right.
That's what we've recently moved on to for gaming, and the minimum requirements to run this game is 16 gigs, which is insane. So that's really weird. I think the most interesting announcement here was Death Stranding 2 already. That one, that one threw me for a loop. I was like, what?
Well, you know that Kojima was going to save an announcement for his boy.
Yeah, but I feel
Jeff
like
Keighley
we
was
just
like, you better
got
something,
Death Stranding
Kojima.
too. You know what I mean? I feel like we just got that game.
Nope.
I mean,
Death
Death
Stranding,
Stranding,
at
not
least 2 years
two,
at this point, right?
but maybe, but like normally with something like that was that long.
So, you gotta realize something, right?
Yeah.
The making of Death Stranding was not just him making the game. A good portion of that was him going on that cross-country tour with what's-his-name looking for a suitable engine. And then building everything from scratch. Now that he's got all of that, there's probably not much else he has to do. I mean, realistically, right? Like, look at Death Stranding 1. Aesthetically, that game is phenomenal.
Yeah.
The man's doing crazy things with that engine. Gorilla can't even do shit with that engine, and they made the fucking thing.
That's true.
So...
Yeah, and I did think, well, see, the reason why I was saying, like, it's crazy that he's already made a second one is because he stated in an interview that he already had this planned out at the end of Death Stranding 1. Like, he had already had 2 planned out, but then the pandemic hit, and he rewrote the entire story.
Yep.
From start to finish. So, in fucking, 3 years, he rewrote the entire game and redid everything, and announced the new game already. Like that's pretty fucking crazy to me. That's actually insane.
That is pretty crazy.
Yeah. Then there are quite a few other announcements here that I thought were pretty good. Judas looked kind of cool. The Ken Levine game from that's like it's BioShock in everything but name is what I'm gonna call it. And I think the biggest surprise was Armored Core. A new Armored Core was announced.
You know what shocks me about that Armored Core announcement? Not so much that we got a new Armored Core, the fact that they're letting Miyazaki do it. Because, what was funny about that is, like, he was the one who did Armored Core 4, and everybody, shit-talked him. And, for a little bit, he was known as the guy who ruined Armored Core.
Yeah.
And now they're like, you make the new one.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so Armored Core 4 was bad, but 5 was worse. Like... When they were like, all right, you can make Armored Core 5. Armored Core 5 was dog shit. That was the one that was super modernized and didn't even feel like an Armored Core game. So I think them being like, all right, Miyazaki, please save us because at least yours wasn't as bad as the last one that was made. I feel like that's a good thing.
Yeah, but FromSoft made the last one too.
Yeah, but it was one of Miyazaki's other people that made 5.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know, second in command or some shit. I don't know what the person's name was. And yeah, that's all I know.
Gotcha.
But also they made 5 during the age of brown and gray.
Also,
so it was just super brown and gray military-esque and not very good. So yeah. We had a ton more things here. We had Diablo 4 within a release date.
Yep.
We had Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which looked awesome in my opinion.
I know a lot of people are excited for that.
Yep. My friend went out and bought the $250 edition that comes with a working lightsaber, the one that the guy on stage had. So he immediately did that during the Game Awards. That was pretty crazy. We got an announcement that Kevin Conroy's final performance will be in Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. That was pretty hype. That was neat. I like that. I mean, I always liked Batman. I love Batman, actually. Batman's one of my favorite characters in modern comics and that sort of thing. And Kevin Conroy has been fantastic always as Batman, so pretty excited to hear that. And just in general, this is going to be a better game than Gotham Knight was. So yeah. We got a little bit more Mario. We got more Mario clips.
A
little bit. I thought, God, why can't I never remember his name? The guy who's playing Toad. Yeah, Key. I thought he did an excellent job as Toad.
Oh yeah, he does. Actually, I've really come around on his voice.
Yeah, I really like his voice. I really think he does a really good job. And just in general, I've always liked his stuff. So like him as Toad and him actually doing a good job as Toad, I'm like, good for you, man. Good for you. Awesome. I'm really happy about that.
He really hits that kind of like Toad voice you would expect and doesn't really sound terribly much like himself.
Yeah, I agree. And it's not like grating also. Because like you can do a Toad voice and it can be like really just nails on a chalkboard. And he doesn't have that, but he still hits that Toad voice. So it's like he's like straddling the line and he's doing a really good job of it. So I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, I was also surprised too. Like, just kind of back to another thought we had on the Mario movie. We talked about it last trailer, but just them trying to really milk in all the different iterations of Mario as much as they can.
Yeah.
Like, at least musically, if you listen to the music that they put in that like 2-minute segment, it's like a Mario marathon of music.
Yes.
It hits like everything. Like I think it was like the Toad House music, like the Coin Block music. Like it's all there. It's interesting. And I the other thing too is I think that 2-minute segment actually was entertaining. Like I thought it was nice just to kind of see like an actual like a piece of the movie that's just kind of playing out like how it would, as opposed to being like arranged to be more like a theatrical trailer.
Yeah, so. I agree. It actually gave me, like how we were seeing those clips where it was like, oh, he's jumping on platforms, and it just kind of felt like we got to have a checklist of things for him to do. Actually seeing like the way they had integrated in the platform hopping and this, that, and the other into the Toad's actual world in that clip gave me a little bit more hope that the shit that we were seeing won't just be kind of sprinkled in there as like a checklist, and more like they've actually kind of worked everything in there as a way to make sense and be a cohesive world. And I'm kind of interested in seeing how all the rest of the stuff goes into the movie as a whole.
Yeah, and now we know Bowser's going to try to kill Luigi. That's obviously part of his goal.
Yep.
Because Toad screams out like, what was it? Like, out of the way, his brother's about to get murdered.
Yeah, exactly.
So that. Good. That's it.
Yep, I agree. Very good. We had some other things that were announced. Valiant Hearts is getting a Netflix series, I believe it was.
No, it's Netflix games.
Oh, yeah. Netflix games. Okay, well that's not as cool. The Wild Hearts, that actually looked really cool. It looked like it looked a lot like Monster Hunter crossed with something like God Eater, so that was neat.
Huh?
I'm trying to think of other things. Oh, DLC for Horizon Horizon Forbidden West. There we go.
Yeah, that's by the way, I don't know if you noticed, it's next gen only.
I did not notice that. That's interesting.
It's only for PS5.
All right then.
And speaking of next gen only DLC, we got the first. We got another trailer for Phantom Liberty.
Cyberpunk. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Idris Elba.
Dude, he looked good.
Yeah, he looked really good.
And I always liked Idris Elba, so this is going to be really neat. I think him and Keanu Reeves will play off themselves really well in this. I'm pretty excited for this.
What else did we get? We got that cool Hellboy game. Cool looking Hellboy game.
It looked cool, but it kind of looked really slow.
Mm-hmm.
And just like, oh yeah, the fucking Crash Bandicoot looked cool, but that's definitely a MOBA, right? That looked like a MOBA.
A little bit.
Yeah. Oh, you know what looked really good though? Warhammer 40K, Space Marine 2. That game looks fucking sick.
You know what game got announced that has absolutely no hope, but I really do hope it's decent.
What?
And you're not gonna this is not typically a game that I play. that Crime Boss game.
Oh yeah, with like Danny Trejo and Chuck Norris and everything.
Like, I want that to be a good game, but like it also just is like, here's generic GTA 5 from like cable network TV show.
Well, it is made by 505 Games, and 505 Games has put out some good games. So there's a possibility. But yeah, that was something that is just like, here's 80s movies, the game, essentially.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Michael Rooker is in it also. I forgot about that.
Yeah, Danny Trejo.
Vanilla Ice.
Yep.
This is fucking just
Danny Glover, Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
Also, Danny Glover's name in the game is Gloves. Just to...
Oh, wow. Oh. Yeah, I mean, I hope it looks like it could be interesting, but yeah. He is Gloves. I'm looking at the trailer now. Michael Rooker has touchdown.
We got more FF16 stuff, which I did pre-order that game today because Walmart had a sale on the deluxe edition for like $70. Yeah.
I think this looks fucking incredible. I think this game looks so good.
FF16?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I think it looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
I wasn't excited like this for FF15.
I was, but I followed it when it was versus 13. So
yeah.
So 16, and I'm gonna see if you feel the same way I do. Maybe you don't. You know, a big part of Final Fantasy is warring borders about their crystal and this, that, and the other. And you know, this game looks a lot more gritty and like darker than like past Final Fantasy games. This is totally giving off Game of Thrones vibes, isn't it? Like, this is totally giving off Game of Thrones vibes.
I think they're leaning in. I mean, I've never seen a single episode of a Game of Thrones.
But you know Game of Thrones.
But I definitely think, yeah. I think they're definitely leaning into that kind of genre a bit more. So, like, maybe not necessarily Game of Thrones, but, like, think about a lot of the fantasy things that have been big over the past, 5 years or so, 10 years, So you're looking at Game of Thrones, you're looking at The Witcher, which that show's done really, really well.
Yeah, that is.
And then you have The Crown, which has done very, very well. So I think they're taking a lot of those, like, high-profile shows, like, hey, what if we just take those concepts, apply them to FF16 because it fits perfectly, because all of that is kind of the same thing. But I feel like Final Fantasy in the past couple entries have been like weird. Like, especially 13 was weird.
13 was weird because it was 3 games to complete the series.
Well, that and it did like
story.
That was more like, I should say FF16 is more like a return to the series roots, where it's definitely more of a fantasy setting and not so much the Magitech stuff and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So I think that they're smart to be looking at maybe stuff like that while also applying it to the base kind of framework of what makes a Final Fantasy game a Final Fantasy game.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So it does look very good though. I'm very excited for it. I'm
same.
Because when's release date for that?
Well, it's next year. It's
June 22nd.
Yeah, there it is.
June's gonna be a busy month.
It is.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff coming out in June.
The key art for that game also is very good.
Yep, I agree.
So.
Yep.
Exciting.
I guess I'll just run through a few other things that were announced real quick. So Celeste, the creator of Celeste, is making a new game called Earthblade. And we got our first look at that, and that looked really cool.
Yeah, it looks decent.
Yeah.
Last of Us Part 1's getting a PC release.
Which is cheaper than the PS5 version.
Which is hilarious.
That is kind of wild, actually.
Baldur's Gate 3 has a release window. Did anybody, or was it just me who didn't realize that Transformers trailer was a trailer for Transformers? Okay, because I was like, what the fuck?
I had the biggest Transformers fan I've ever met in our chat with us, and when he didn't realize it was a Transformers game, and he was like, what the hell? We were like, fake fan, you didn't realize it was Transformers. Fake fan.
Well, you know what, like, checked me out immediately, and let me just make sure that this is still their pedigree. There we go. What games has this studio made lately? Gotcha. So Splash Damage. As soon as I saw Splash Damage appear on the screen, I was like, sweet.
Oh, this is gonna be bad.
I'm out. Because all they've done for the most part has been ports and like assisted on games for the past
Hmm.
decade. The last game that I played by them was Brink in 2011, and that game was
Yeah.
trash.
Yeah.
Um, but like they did like the multiplayer for Gears 4 and 5, the PC port for Halo. They
Hmm.
made Gears Tactics. Oh, they had a game that was going to come out for the Stadia, but maybe that was going to be the one.
Outcasters.
Yeah, that could have been the one. Um,
I'm
but
looking at it
yeah,
now. It was not the one.
it could have been. You never know. You could have been
You never
surprised by
know.
it. But yeah, no, the Transformers trailer threw me for a loop too because it had more like oh, what was it? Was it Alien that had like those mecha suits?
Yes.
Yeah, that's at first kind of what I thought they were going with, and then like the robots and shit. I was like, what the fuck is this going on?
Hmm.
It could be good, but it's also not Transformers.
Yeah, that was a weird one. That was a very weird one.
Yeah.
I guessed the twist behind Banishers before it happened. Like me and Katie were watching it,
Yeah.
and I was like, his wife is dead, and then she turned into a ghost, and I was like, called it. So this is Focus Entertainment's next game,
Yeah.
and it's called Banishers, and it looks like, I mean, some kind of action adventure game where you follow the like trail led by your dead wife.
Yeah.
This is the same people that made Plague Tale, so it could be very good because they do make really good games, and Plague Tale is a very, very good game. So
You know what I'm surprised you haven't mentioned yet, Brandon?
what's that?
That Vampire Survivors is on mobile.
You know, I totally forgot about it because I'm more excited for the DLC that comes out tonight.
There.
Yeah, reasonable.
Yeah, which surprised me that that wasn't announced at the Game Awards, but
Yeah.
yeah, it comes out. Oh, it said on the 15th. Now it just says coming soon. All right, so I don't know when it comes out now. No, it said on the 14th. Sorry, never mind. That's what I meant to say. Anyway, yeah, no, I don't really play mobile games, so
Yeah,
that's also
okay.
another thing. So it's like,
Fair enough.
I mean, most of them are not worth playing, so I can understand why you would be. Not.
Pretty much the only mobile games I play are the rhythm ones because I think mobile is the best place to play rhythm games. So like that's like the only kind of mobile games I really play. So there's that. Remnant 2, which looked kind of cool. That's neat. Blue Protocol, which looks like Weeaboo
Anime
Genshin
shit.
Impact. No, it looks like Genshin Impact, 100%. It is Weeaboo Genshin Impact. It's Japanese Genshin. So, surreal platformer called After Us. That looked really neat. You play as Gaia rebuilding the Earth after, I guess, it was led to extinction, and you're like moving around. It's kind of got like a Journey vibe to it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Replaced, which honestly looked like that old game that the developer got run out of town for liking something. I don't remember what the fuck it was.
What?
There was a developer that got ran out of town. I think it had something to do with Gamergate or some dumb bullshit. They had a game that looked like Replaced, and I don't know what the fuck it was called. A Night Out or something like that. I
I
don't
know
remember.
what you're talking about. 'Cause remember another game getting announced that was like pixel art like that?
Yeah. It looks like that, but like that's
I don't know.
that's what I immediately thought.
The
The
only
last
game,
night, maybe?
the only thing that I'm
The
thinking
last...
of that you're talking about is that one game that got announced that was like quirky high school game, and then they,
No.
yeah,
Those were actually creepy people that like drew children
yeah.
bad situations. It's called
Um,
The Last Night. The Last Night by Raw Fury and Odd Tales. That game is what Replaced looks like. Like to a T, basically.
oh, this game's not even. There's no release date for this yet.
No, they literally got so many death threats and everything because people found out that they supported the like Gamergate that they got doxxed, they got absolutely run off the internet essentially. But when that came out, when people went through all their stuff and then threatened their family and this, that, and the other, so this game is like
Ooh,
dead in the water essentially. But this is what Replaced reminded me of.
gotcha. Because I was like, what? And okay, yeah. Anyway, was there anything else notable?
I don't think so. Like I think they showed the Call of the Mountain, like a few seconds of that.
I showed
but it's
Among
like,
Us.
yeah, but that was already out, so I'm just like, what the fuck?
Everybody was. I saw people getting annoyed because they announced that Zelda was like the most anticipated game.
Hey, we're not there yet. Hold on. That's
No. They announced that Zelda was the most anticipated game, and then a trailer for Call of the Wild came out. They were like, "Fuck this."
Bait and switch.
Yeah,
It happens.
these things happen.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what else did you want to talk about for VGAs?
I mean, we've got the winners. That's the next thing that's on the list.
Yeah.
Which we were just going to go through really quickly.
Okay.
Yeah. So as Nick just said, Zelda did win most anticipated game.
All right, I spoiled that one. I didn't think anybody saw that one coming.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Arcane won best adaptation. Which, I mean, if you haven't seen Arcane, you should probably watch Arcane. It's very, very good.
I wanted to be mad about it, but I couldn't be mad about it.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I
wanted
mean? Like,
to win, but it's like, if it's Edge Runners or if it's Arcane, and it's just like two fucking kings battling it out. And it's all right, you guys, that's fine. Ludwig won Content Creator of the Year, and then put on a chess boxing tournament, which was fucking incredible. And I watched that. I don't know if you saw it, Nick. Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it.
It was free on YouTube, and it's still free on YouTube. So go check it out. It's actually really fucking funny. It's like one round of boxing the shit out of each other, and then they play chess, and then they have so many minutes before they have to put the chessboard up and start boxing the shit out of each other again. And it's incredible. It's back and forth, and they started it by doing Smash Brothers Melee and boxing instead. So it was
very good.
It was two people that were part of the thing you were talking about the other week. That what happened. Two of the people that would have been at one of the events if it hadn't gotten shut down and everything. They were going against each other at the chess boxing as the opener, which was melee boxing, where they had to wear hand wraps and play Smash Brothers Melee, and then immediately after they had to put on their boxing gloves and beat the shit out of each other. It was very good. It was actually like a super hype event. The entire thing was free. You can watch it on YouTube. Highly recommend watching it. Best multiplayer game. I was sitting here the whole time saying, I hope Splatoon 3 wins, and it actually won.
What was satisfying about that? I was in a room with people who love Overwatch too, and I was like, wonder what's gonna get best multiplayer of the year, and Splatoon 3 fucking won, and I was like, fuck yeah, this game rocks, love it.
And another back-to-back win for Nintendo, best simulation or strategy game went to Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope,
which also did not expect that to win, but
me neither.
Well deserved.
I think
from what I've played of that,
3 won best RPG too, right?
What now?
No,
it did not.
It did not.
It did not.
Didn't Xenoblade 3
and the
win
game,
something?
the game that won best RPG, arguably in my opinion, is not an RPG.
I disagree, but I'll let you have it. I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
What won best RPG?
Elden Ring.
Yeah, I wouldn't consider it an RPG.
Yeah.
It's literally an action RPG.
So that's more so my issue, right? Is that I feel like
they have
category
them all put together as one.
The category of
understand.
RPG is wholly just wrong, because obviously you have action RPG, MMORPG, JRPG, shit like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. Maybe if you don't have enough games like that releasing in a year, you kind of just lump them all together. But like,
I understand your frustration with that, but I still do think that the fact that it was lumped in there did give it the right to win, because it technically is an RPG. That's just my opinion. Best sports and racing game was Gran Turismo 7, and if you look at all the other games that are here, the only other one that I would have picked was Ollie Ollie World. So, I mean, yeah. Best family game actually went to Kirby and the Forgotten Land.
So, love Kirby.
And apparently what I was looking at, Nintendo just retweeted that Xenoblade was nominated. That's why I got confused,
Xenoblade didn't win anything, and Kirby won an award, so Kirby is equally better than Xenoblade.
The Kirby Blade. That Kirby game was a good game.
Kirby Blade. I agree. Best fighting game went to Multiverses, which, I mean, I guess, fine, sure, whatever.
Which, I mean, you look at the rest of the list, and you're like, okay.
Yeah. I'm a huge JoJo fan, and even I'm sitting here like, why the fuck is this here?
Yeah. I mean, when they had Sifu on the list, you're like, all right, they're just trying to fill seats here.
Exactly. Sifu's just happy to be there. Best RPG we already talked about. Elden Ring won that. Best action adventure game. God of War Ragnarok. Best action game. Bayonetta 3. Another win for Nintendo. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Innovation and accessibility. I think The Last of Us Part 1 should have won this, but God of War Ragnarok won. And I just think God of War Ragnarok has less accessibility features than Last of Us Part 1. But that's just my opinion. Best VR AR game went to Moss Book 2. Not played this, not even looked into it. I played the original, but I don't know.
Did you play Bone Lab? I could have sworn you did.
I have only seen people play Bone Lab. I haven't got to play it myself yet. I just don't have the money, nor the time, or the space, because all the stuff I'm selling. Best community support, Final Fantasy XIV Online, and honestly, deserved. If it wasn't that or No Man's Sky, I'm pretty sure people would have rioted.
Yeah.
Best mobile game went to Marvel Snap, which is hilarious because of how hard Genshin Impact fought for other categories. They didn't win their own category.
Yeah.
Best debut indie game. Vampire Survivors was fucking robbed by Funny Cat Game. Stray won
Funny
best
Cat
indie game. Stray won best debut indie game. Stray won best indie game.
Yep.
And it's just like, bruh, dude, get the fuck out. You had Tunic and Neon White and Cult of the Lamb right there, and again, you picked Funny Cat Game. That's literally what all of us started calling it in the chat, because it won 3 awards, I believe, and we kept being like, this game got robbed over Funny Cat Game every time it happened. Best ongoing game, again, Final Fantasy XIV, and if you've seen how they've treated their community and how they've taken care of that game over the years, you understand why that one won easily. So there's that. Games for Impact, As Dusk Falls. I have no horse in this race. I didn't play that one, so I don't really know. But, I mean, there you go. Best Performance, Christopher Judge. Definitely deserved. That man did an excellent job. I also would have accepted Sunny, because Sunny did a really good job as well in God of War Ragnarok. I think they both do really great jobs with their acting. So, awesome. Great job. Love it. Best Audio Design, God of War Ragnarok. Disagree. Just straight up disagree. Like I
disagree too.
I don't think it deserved to have best audio design. Like, it's got good audio, but it has nothing that makes it stand out or special. Honestly, I know it would be the cop-out, but my choice would have probably been Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo's audio design, which is really easy to get right, which is just cars. I just think it sounds really good. I think there's a really distinct sound between what you're doing in that game when you're doing it, and I think it works very well. I even probably would have put Elden Ring in here as a secondary choice, only because of the fact that there's so many distinct areas in that game, and your footstep noises as well as like enemy placement and everything, you can like hear all of that around you when you're playing that game if you take a moment and just like breathe in the atmosphere instead of just fucking panicking at every moment in time. I didn't think God of War Ragnarok deserved this, but whatever, it was the winner. Best score, I also disagree with this one. I really think that Metal Hellsinger deserved this, even though God of War Ragnarok again won it. But, I mean, Bear McCreary, that's what it is. Bear McCreary is very good at what he does. I just think Metal Hellsinger is a better soundtrack overall because of my own personal choice. But I also, now after hearing Yoshinori Matsuda, I think that's what his name is.
Yoshinori Matsuda.
That's the Xenoblade person, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that music that they played there was fucking incredible.
Yes.
Xenoblade Chronicles 3 has really good music. I haven't heard it personally until just then, when like it was coming out and they were showing off all the different music choices. But that song was really, really good that they played, and so was a lot of the other music after I looked it up. So, good soundtrack for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. But
that's excellent. Yeah.
Metal Hellsinger, if you like metal, it is like the encapsulation of it because they made every song specifically for that game, and it's awesome. Best art direction went to Elden Ring. I agree and disagree. Scorn should have won this easily. Scorn is a bad game, but it looks incredible.
Definitely agree.
Legitimately, it looks unlike anything else I've seen in a game, and that's when you have the best art direction. When you're so creative and different, that's when you deserve it. So, whatever. Elden Ring, it looks like Berserk, and I like Berserk, so I'll accept that. I wouldn't have been okay with God of War Ragnarok winning, because I don't think fantasy in like Ragnarok, in like fuck, why is my brain not doing like Viking mythology, that sort of thing?
Yeah.
I just doesn't. It's just nothing's really interesting about that. It looks good, but and it's got some elements where it's like when you go to like the not gonna spoil, but when you go a certain place in that game, it's very, very pretty. It looks really nice, and the art direction in that area is very inventive and original. But it's like that one is the one that stands out. Otherwise, it doesn't really stand out in my opinion. So whatever. Best narrative, God of War Ragnarok, easy win for that. I mean, it is very, very well written. Best game direction, Elden Ring won this one. Cool, awesome. That could have went to any of them on here except for probably Funny Cat Game or Horizon Forbidden West. And then Game of the Year was Elden Ring, and a lot of people were very angry.
Yep.
But fuck you, Elden Ring won. So yeah.
Imagine people being angry, but I mean, I feel like the writing was on the wall for that one.
Oh, there. You remember how there were people that like destroyed their PlayStations when Horizon Zero Dawn was announced for PC, and there were like videos on like Twitter and stuff like that.
I did not know that.
Neither
Oh, you haven't seen those videos? Oh, those videos are amazing. Sony fanboys are a different breed, my dude. Yeah, a lot of people got really angry and started coming up with conspiracy theories for why Elden Ring won Game of the Year, and some of the fanboys got borderline incredibly racist. So, yeah, it was crazy. But Elden Ring won. Elden Ring deserved it. It's a really fucking good game. It's a really good Souls-like game, and I think it's a really good game to start playing Soulsborne games. So yeah, it's a good game. It deserved its Game of the Year. Yeah, that's really it. And there's a few other things that happened, such as my Reformed Orthodox Rabbi Bill Clinton. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was the thing that happened.
There was a kid that got up on stage and just followed behind the Elden Ring people after they won Game of the Year, clapping along with them and patting them on the back, acting like he was part of the group. And then he just stood up there, let them say their speech, and then afterwards he said he'd like to dedicate this win to his Reformed Orthodox Rabbi Bill Clinton. And then people came and got him off stage afterwards. And supposedly got arrested. I don't know if that's true, but yeah. That was a thing that happened at the Game Awards. So immediately after the Game Awards, there were two things that were trending. The Game Awards and Bill Clinton. And Bill Clinton was trending with the Game Awards.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny because I didn't even see it happen, and I was watching it live.
Yeah, I didn't realize that it happened until afterwards. And I was like, did he just say Bill Clinton for some reason? And I was just like, okay, well maybe it's just like a lol so random thing. And then I saw afterwards, oh, that was not planned. That kid was not supposed to be there. And then, like, the Discord chats between him and his friend got leaked where he's like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna fucking do it. And his friend was like, bet. And he was like, I'm gonna
had
do
him
it.
arrested.
Yeah. And Jeff Keighley was like, the person who interrupted our Game of the Year event has been apprehended and arrested. And it's like, bruh. And then like there were entire like hashtags that were like hashtag free my man and stuff like that, and Bill Clinton kid did nothing wrong, and it just went everywhere. Apparently he was on InfoWars at some point in time, so then everyone was like, no, he's racist, and then it just went everywhere, my dude. It was such a weird night after the Game Awards. So yeah.
Good publicity for Keighley, I guess.
I guess so. Or maybe not, because when you think about it, having someone be able to just walk up behind the winners in a big event like that, that's not safe at all. I don't think that's good publicity.
Is it safe?
When you show that you have
but now you got a lot of people being like, oh, there's video game awards? What's this about? Maybe next year will be just as exciting.
It's about
maybe Will Smith will slap someone. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
That'll probably be the next thing. You know, Keighley will invite Will Smith next year.
Yeah. So that was the Game Awards, and honestly, it wasn't too bad. I thought it was alright this year. It wasn't like exceptionally great. There was nothing like, ooh, jaw dropping that was shown or anything at the Game Awards, but like, it wasn't terrible.
Oversell it.
Huh?
It wasn't terrible.
No, it's
I will
not
say
something.
though.
It's not about like overselling or underselling. It's about being like we talked about how the Game Awards was kind of trending on a downward spiral. I just thought this was like a straight flat line. Like it didn't go down any lower. It didn't really go up. It was just straight across.
Fair too. And the other thing to keep in mind too is just at its core, like award shows are kind of boring.
Yeah.
Oh, so Brandon.
Yeah. How you doing?
Remember in BlizzCon 2019, there was that kid who ran across the stage and yelled "Free Hong Kong"?
Yes.
That was the Bill Clinton kid.
That was Bill Clinton kid. All right. Bruh, if he's running across the stage and screaming "Free Hong Kong," I don't think he can be that bad of a guy.
I think he's just being just an absolute troll.
Yeah, he just seems like a meme lord.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Huh?
That was the Game Awards. That was it. That's really all there is to it.
Do you guys have anything else you want to talk about before we wrap up?
No.
Okay.
No, not really.
All right. Well then, thank you everyone for listening to us tonight. Don't forget to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google, Amazon, wherever you get your podcasts. We have our website, game-crunch.com, which has all our old episodes available. And if you want to reach out to us, we're on Facebook or Twitter. Or you can send us an email at gamecrunchcast@gmail.com. Brandon,
Hey.
any final thoughts?
No, not currently. I will say I will be streaming a lot more next year. But we'll cross that path when we get to it. Also, I'm curious when our game of the year is coming up. What are we doing? What's going on?
Should be soon. We need to start thinking about it, really.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Same.
And the year's ending soon, so.
Yeah.
That's true. Anyways, Nick?
No, I got nothing.
Okay. Well, that's it. That's my Anastasia. Find me online and Clutch Penguin on Twitter or your favorite gaming console. And until next week, game on.
Yeah.
Game on. Have you got me the links to this year-end wrap-up that you were telling me about?
I put it in the general chat.
What year-end wrap-up?
For Nintendo Switch and PlayStation.
PlayStation.
I saw Nintendo's today. I don't like it as much as I think they did the last couple of years.
They didn't do it right. Like, they don't give you, like, a breakdown of, like... It's just like, here's your 3 most played. I'm like, that's not what I'm looking for, PlayStation. Or Nintendo.
And then they did, like, the one per, like, month, but it was, like, when you played each game each month, then it was...
Weird.
Yeah. One thing I thought was interesting was some of them, I forgot what they called it. It had, like, burst
Alright, I'm doing it. Here we go. Most played. Legends Arceus, Violet, and Splatoon 3.
Okay, that's good solid choices.
Played at launch, Legends Arceus, Violet, and Kirby and the Forgotten Lands.
I'll put my most played in the chat for both Nintendo and Sony.
3+ years of play, Fortnite. I only log on to it to get free stuff. What is your favorite game this year? Most played in November, Pokemon Violet. Bayonetta, Fall Guys. Most played in January, Shining Pearl. Most played in February, Legends Arceus. Most played in March, Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Also most played in March, Stardew Valley.
On like everything.
Yeah.
Like any game I started during the year.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, here's Jackbox Party Pack 9, which you guys might know I have not talked about because I have not played it yet. I booted up for a second, played the single player. One of the games had like a single player mode, so I tried it out for like 5 minutes and I was like, okay, and then just I have not had a chance to play it yet. So,
all right, my PlayStation's gonna be much more interesting. Let's check this one out.
I would hope so.
Mine was definitely the opposite.
Your PlayStation was less interesting?
Oh yeah, I posted it in the general chat.
Oh no.
My most played game this year was BioShock.
That's pretty yikes, man.
Oh yeah.
I mean, realistically, what came out this year on
PlayStation?
On PS5?
A lot.
Nothing good.
God of War.
I didn't play God of War yet.
I mean, I guess if you're comparing those two pictures to decide which one's better, the Nintendo one at least is slightly better. But
oh yeah.
I'm signing in. Let's find out what my wrap up is.
I know Splatoon was my most played game.
All right.
Oh,
Explore your score. Reflect on the year with PlayStation. Each of the sections below. Total playtime. See a breakdown of your gaming hours.
Gaming.
You played 409 total hours. Take a look at where you spent most of your gaming time this year. You played 83.4% of your total playtime on PlayStation 5 titles.
I completely forgot I got to put that in there. My friends were just talking about, because I posted a link, because they can get Ghost of Tsushima for PS5 for $30. And they're like going down and talking about doing he like jokingly mentioned a permadeath run. And I was like, so just get Returnal. And then I remember that the Returnal PC port needs 32 gigs of RAM to run.
Oh my god, we gotta talk about a lot of stuff. Alright, moving on.
It's
Top
so
games.
good.
Seem your most played games. Click. Yeah, I knew that was coming.
Oh, that's not what I put there.
Top 5. God of War Ragnarok is number 5 at 22 hours logged in. Everybody's Golf is number 4 at 47 hours logged in.
I track.
Elden Ring is number 3 at 65 hours logged in. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is number 2 at 68 hours logged in. And Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Cross-Gen Bundle has 97 hours logged in at number 1. Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, back. Trophies earned.
I need everything announced at the Game Awards.
Yeah.
There we go.
My first ever trophy was Fashion Sense on Little Big Planet. My most recent trophy is All Arounder on Gran Turismo 7.
I was laughing because I actually like that they did the first trophy thing. My first trophy, I forget which one it specifically was, but was a Rock Band 2 trophy back in like 09.
Nice.
I was like, fuck yeah.
Your time with PS Plus in 2022. You spent 42 hours online multiplayer games. You added 45 monthly PS Plus games to your library. And my top online multiplayer game was Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
Yep.
Yeah, all this checks out. That all makes sense.
Oh, I gotta get the list of award winners too.
Wait, there was something for Stray at the bottom. Hold on. Oh, people have meowed in Stray 1 billion times.
Wow.
12 million things have been ruined. 635,000 basketballs have been sunk. And 814,000 miles have been traveled in buckets. All right. That's an okay year in review.
Mm-hmm.
They're both pretty interesting. At the end of the day, my year in... Oh, my summary card. It was summary card. Yeah, go put that in chat. If I do that, does it show up? It does! Yay! I'll post over here. Here's my summary card. In general...
97 hours of Modern Warfare 2. Good lord.
Listen, you need to understand something. When I play a Call of Duty game and I actually enjoy it, I play a Call of Duty game.
I did play 98 hours of Splatoon 3, so I can't talk.
I mean, Modern Warfare 2 is actually a good game for once. So, like, I mean, there's times where I look at things and I'm like, you know what, I'll just talk about it on the podcast. but what I'm trying to say is, like, there's times where I look at things and I'm like, this looks like shit, and then I play it and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that's actually really good. Okay. I guess I'll talk about one of those today as well. There you go, those are my 3 things to talk about.